hi, friends from Topeka, Canada. I'm in LA. It's Richard Franklin. I'm Captain Mike Yates of UNIT, and I hope you know that already. I'm having a lovely time here and meeting quite a number of people from your wonderful country. I've been to Canada once only, and I liked it so much I wanted to live there. But anyway, good luck and keep smiling.
Traveling the Vortex.
We've joined the Doctor as he travels the Vortex and landed episode number 165, and some of us are back from Galley 1.
Yay! Wait, why am I applauding that?
I'm Keith.
I'm Sean.
I'm Glenn.
I'm Mel.
Yay, Mel's here again. Yay!
Full house.
Full house.
Four of a kind.
Four of a kind.
We don't have people for a full house.
How was everyone's week?
Well, you guys don't get to talk too much about your week yet because we're going to hear a lot about most of your week.
So that's it.
Yeah.
Glenn, how was your week?
It was really, really good. I had about a dozen things to talk about, and I can't remember any of them now. I started Game of Thrones, not the novel, but the series. I unfortunately I saw. Well, I'm supposed to be reading along with him. He's halfway through the book.
Yeah, he's like 300 pages behind.
Actually, that's not true. I'm 50 pages in.
So you are only 300 pages behind now.
Yes. I watched the first episode and went, really? I'm going to get hooked on this? This is kind of dry and boring. There's nothing going on. Everybody talks about how confusing the first episode was. I don't think it was confusing. It was more of I just really don't know what's going on yet. But when I stick with this, I'll find out what's happening. They drop you in the deep end right off the bat. They drop you right in. But I didn't think it was confusing. And so, and I'm finding out the characters. I don't remember a dang character's name except for a couple, but I have, I just know who they are based on who they look like. But I got to the end of that one and went, what? so I watched 3 more after that. So I mainlined 4 episodes. Unfortunately, I had a friend come into town on Thursday night because I watched him Wednesday night. I had a friend come into town Thursday night, so I didn't get to him Thursday. Friday night, Caitlin was up late, so I didn't get a chance to watch those because then we had to get for basketball the next morning. Saturday night, again, family stuff. So because the family's been around, actually the kids mostly, I can't watch them until late at night. So I haven't had a chance to get back into them. But the plan is hopefully tomorrow morning just to start watching some more of them. But I'm 4 in, and I'm really enjoying it. The other thing that we did this weekend was Holly and I took the kids to see the Lego movie.
Oh, what'd you think?
Really, another one of those things where it starts off and I thought, what's all the hype about? This is just kind of cute and fun, and then it gets really good. And I was like, okay, I see what the appeal of this is.
Do you agree with kind of my assessment? It didn't quite have the heart.
No, I don't know. I
think it took a step a little too far.
Now that I think about it,
I mean,
I see your point, but I think it had more heart. I mean, I think it had a lot more heart than some animated films.
Well, then some, yes. But the one that most, I don't know.
It didn't leave me going, oh, you needed more heart.
I guess it just left me going, well, that was fun.
It made me go, wow, they already greenlit a Lego Movie 2? But, I mean, without spoiling anything, the end of it kind of sets up the second film. But no, I had a lot of fun.
There's going to be a 2?
It's not as good as... it's not as good as some that I've seen. I still think Wreck-It Ralph is a much better animated film.
And I think that's the only thing I could compare it to because the ideas are kind of similar.
I still haven't seen Frozen.
Yeah, me neither. And Chrissy or Brittany pointed out that video that I didn't
watched it.
I didn't watch it.
Thought, I'd get more out of this.
I was like,
but there's a lot of films that are better. But it was good. It was very, very enjoyable, and I'm super stoked about seeing.
I think the best thing about it is the animation.
Yeah, the animation is great.
So good.
The story went like it should go, though. I mean, it really needed to happen the way it happened. So you guys haven't seen it yet,
Not yet.
Right? Okay.
Yeah, but the characters, man, that's what makes you want to see it. I can't wait to see it because there's a character.
There's a Unikitty.
Which is Alison Brie. It didn't dawn on me.
Yeah, that's
near
who that
the
is.
end. And I thought, oh, okay, that's Alison Brie.
Played by Annie.
You had said who was in it, that she was in it. I knew that she was a voice, and then all the way through it,
It's
I
like
kept thinking
it's a full NBC cast.
because it was Elizabeth Banks was
she was
the hair girl, Wild Style.
Yeah.
And of course Morgan Freeman was obvious, Chris Pratt was obvious, and then the Star Wars cameo. I'm not gonna say anything more about it, but that was
Best part of the whole movie.
brilliant. It was worth that was worth the $8 ticket right there. Was the cameo. I enjoyed it. It was a good movie. There's not much I can say except for go see it because it's worth your money. So,
Did you see it in 3D or 2D? See it in 3D or 2D?
Saw it in 2D.
Okay.
We don't do 3D movies unless they're just ones that you have to do in 3D. Then there was one other thing this week that I did that is escaping me now. Maybe it'll come to me later. That's it. Mason's tummy's been hurting, and he's been off and on sick, so we've been dealing with him, but he gets a really upset stomach, and then he bounces back, and there's like nothing wrong with him, and then a really sick stomach. So I guess we'll take him to the doctor and find out what's wrong with him. But that's it. We didn't. Seems like I did more this week. Oh! I know what else I wanted to talk about. This isn't something I did this week, but did you guys catch the Guardians of the Galaxy trailer?
Oh yes.
You guys are as excited about it as I am now. I saw that thing, and I literally watched it like 5 times in a row because I was like, okay. See, I've been really apprehensive about this film because, number one, when I was a kid, when I was young and reading comic books, Guardians of the Galaxy was not the storyline that they're adapting for the movie. Guardians of the Galaxy was a whole different group of people. Star-Lord was in it, and I think even Groot was in it back then. I can't remember for sure. But they were kind of like a hodgepodge of different type of characters. And then the Annihilation storyline came along later after I had kind of put down Marvel Comics. And that's what they're using to adapt this. So I didn't know much. But when I was a kid, Rocket Raccoon was a raccoon that traveled around with his pal Walrus and protected a holy... it wasn't even a holy. It was like a magical Gideon Bible. That was the shtick. And
they were inspired by the Beatles.
Rocky Raccoon, it was by the Beatles song, yeah. But Rocky Raccoon was Rocket Raccoon was the first I'd ever seen him was in Hulk. Was in the Hulk comics. It was a storyline.
Well,
in
and
Hulk
he had
comics.
like a wife otter.
He did, and he was from
Which
planet.
was a reference.
He was from a planet of anthropomorphized. I mean, we're talking about Howard the Duck days, is what we're talking here. And so I knew that this wasn't that Guardians of the Galaxy, that era of characters. But I just couldn't wrap my brain.
Goodness.
I couldn't wrap my brain around how they were going to do this, how it was going to work, and I kept hearing them say it's really going to be more of an action comedy, more than any of the Marvel films before. That's what I kept hearing everybody say. And I was reserving judgment because how's this going to work? Is this going to translate to the Main Street audiences that have actually accepted all of these other Marvel characters, even Thor, as this realm? And it's part of the Marvel Phase 2 that's working into the Avengers 2. And all along I've been real apprehensive, and I'm like, okay, I'm reserving judgment and wait. I saw this trailer and I went, wow, this is going to be a hit.
This is going to make James Gunn's career.
Wow. James Gunn?
He's the director.
Oh, the director. Okay. Wow. Just all I can say is wow. I've actually watched it probably a dozen times since the 5 times I've watched. So probably more than 20 times.
There are now
the
2...
music cut together with it is fantastic. What a great usage of that song.
There are 2 highly anticipated films for me now. Guardians of the Galaxy and Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. And they're a month apart.
Hey, I've been super excited. My next Marvel, or actually my next comic book film that I've been super excited for is Captain America: Winter Soldier. I think it looks great.
It looks great.
It looks fantastic.
I was even
more excited. I was more excited about that than I was even Amazing Spider-Man 2. I'm still a little miffed about this whole restarting Spider-Man, but they did a fine job with the first movie. The second one was really fine. But I've been excited about. But this has I just completely ignored Captain America now, and I'm looking farther ahead to August now. Because
have you seen the poster yet?
Yes. You're welcome.
I think the only other Marvel movie I've been this excited for was Avengers and the first Iron Man.
Yeah, Avengers. Yeah, most definitely.
And
I don't.
But
remember
it's still a different kind of excitement.
Yeah.
See, I wasn't
I
excited
just
for the
expect to
first
go have
Iron Man
fun.
because I didn't know anything about it. It wasn't until after I saw
I
it
think-
that I was excited
Oh,
about it.
That's
see, I
why
was
I-
excited for it. I remember, but
that's-
it's been so long ago.
I think that's why I can compare it to Iron Man, is because I didn't know what to expect going into it,
Yeah.
and I don't know what to expect going into this either.
Yeah. Well,
Except to have fun.
I have some idea now of what to expect, and I think it's going to be great. So, anyway, let's hope that they don't really overhype themselves. But I think it was a smart move to keep all of it
Yeah.
on the down low until now.
So that you're welcome. I wonder if that's the you're welcome for us guarding the galaxy.
I think it's
or
both.
You're welcome for yes, we're going to present you this much awesome this summer.
I think
it's
I
both.
think the you're welcome is we've waited this long. We gave you a really kick butt trailer. You're welcome. I think that's what it is. Well, thank you for making us wait. So anyway, I just wanted to throw that out there because I was just super stoked about that, and I even downloaded the song from the trailer. I had it years ago.
The song peaked in downloads
It
right
did.
afterwards.
It peaked in the digital downloads.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sure did. It hit the top of the digital music charts. Yeah, that's it. That's all I got. There might be something else that I did this week, but it probably wasn't important. So I did a lot of
Probably
editing.
because of the Guardians of the Galaxy
Everything
trailer.
else got pushed out of the way.
I probably picked up Marvel Superhero or Lego Marvel because unconsciously because of Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, is that right?
I started playing that more this week.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Well, because they're all in it.
Are they
Yeah.
the Guardians?
Mhm.
Oh,
Oh,
sweet.
wait a minute. I was supposed to say that.
They are.
Spoilers.
I just finished the
Sorry.
X-Men level.
Oh. Okay.
So
I finished
that's
the
how
whole
far I am.
story, so.
And other than that, watched the Moon Base. I won't give too much there.
Oh, I
And-
like what he told me.
And I took my dad and stepmom to the airport on Saturday. That's where I did most of Saturday.
Where'd they go?
Thailand.
What?
I think I mentioned. I think
Just for fun?
it's just so bizarre. I don't think of her as a stepsister because I think I've met her once. But my stepsister lives there and is getting
Okay.
married.
That's Carol's daughter.
Yes. So my dad doesn't take toll roads, so he drove on the way up to the airport. It took like twice as long as it normally would. It's okay. It's not a big deal. I didn't have anything else to do. And then I brought their car back and left it.
On the toll road.
Yeah, on the toll road. Had 5 guys for dinner because I could.
Anytime you can have 5 guys, you should have 5 guys.
Stopped in and
I'm sorry.
hung out in Lawrence.
If I went to that restaurant more often, I had 5 guys for dinner, would not have sounded so weird.
Now, if I would have said that with
See, I automatically went with the restaurant, but thank you for being the creepy one now. That takes actually some of the pressure off me. It pulls me down from the ceiling just a little bit.
It sounded weird.
It sounded weird. Oh, I did remember my other thing I did this week.
Oh, Sarah and I, since I was in the area when she was about to get off work, we hung out in Lawrence for a while and then came back to town. And then today, didn't do much because Sarah had to work today too. So we had dinner with her dad for his birthday at Famous Dave's. It was always good. That's about it. Been pretty slow listening to a lot of Galley updates.
Let me jump back real quick because I just remembered something else.
Oh, I also remembered
brought the
something
visual
else.
aid here. Go ahead.
Because I forgot to mention it last week that I completed all the levels on Doctor Who Legacy.
Yay! Good job, Keith.
I completed it like Monday.
So we're all
of last
done?
week.
You're not done yet.
I'm not done yet.
I'm still working on
You don't
unlocking
play
characters.
ride. Good lord.
No, I went on a tear this week, and I unlocked a bunch of new characters for me.
Ah.
I unlocked both kids.
See, I focused on moving forward in the story as opposed to unlocking more characters.
Yeah,
So I did
stalled
that
out
first
there.
and then went back.
Now I'm
I
going back.
got Martha finally. Finally got Nefertiti to drop.
Who you called Cleopatra.
Who I called Cleopatra. Yeah. I realized that over and over and over again I was
I think you
screaming.
knew what you meant.
I screamed obscenities at Cleopatra. And then when Nefertiti dropped, I was like, oh. Yeah, that's right. And then the detective I got to drop, and
Sam.
what's his name? Sam Spade. I don't know.
Yeah. It may not even be Sam. I may be getting Sam Spade.
So, yeah, I
He's
kind of...
essentially Sam Spade.
Oh,
He's essentially Sam Spade.
Yeah.
Handbot Doctor I got.
Handbot,
So,
yeah.
yeah.
Handbot or Spoonhead?
Spoonhead.
Spoonhead. Handbot is Rory.
Rory.
Handbot Rory.
I haven't got Handbot Rory yet, although I'm to that level.
That's
Handbot
probably why you
Rory.
got confused.
So, yeah.
You're getting there.
So I have been playing.
You're getting there.
A lot.
They were at this thing called a convention over the weekend, so they couldn't play.
That's a 4-hour trip.
Well, you know what's funny is that...
How's that book coming, Sean?
And I didn't.
Oh, you didn't get it done. Well, why did you tweet us the other night asking we were done recording on it? Maybe you thought you were going to get in on time.
I was just going to...
Call in
say
like
hi.
you did from Hawaii.
Yeah. I was going to say hi.
Too late.
Yeah, I was.
I think I was out of here right after midnight. That's how quick we got done.
Well, fine. I won't show up anymore. No, I think it's funny that I had to meet the guy that developed the game before I started getting characters to drop. Maybe there's a correlation there, maybe not. I don't know. He gave me all the secrets. You only heard some of them. I got all of them.
Sam Garner.
Garner.
I had Sam right then.
I knew it was Sam.
What was the other thing?
Got a book. My cousin from Albuquerque. Well, she lives in Albuquerque. She's not from Albuquerque. I don't know. Maybe she is from Albuquerque. Anyway, she messaged me on Facebook about a week and a half ago. Said Brian, that's her husband, found a Doctor Who book and they want to send it to me. I was like, okay. So she said, send me your address. So I sent the address.
Twist my arm.
Forgot all about it, and then it showed up in the mail on Friday, and I got it. And it's he must have picked it up at a used bookstore, I believe. It's an older book. I think it came out in 2008. I think is when I determined, and it's the definitive guide to the making of the new series, Doctor Who: The Inside Story, and it covers the first and second season and just a little bit of 2006 and beyond. Oh, it came out in 2007. That's what it was.
It kind of teases you.
It does. It teaches you for
special.
Martha and the Christmas Carol, the Christmas Special, Runaway Bride, and on. So it's got just a little bit on that because they must have had enough information on it. But it's really a neat book. I had never seen this. It's one of those typical episode guide books, but it also gives you kind of some behind the scenes making of. But it covers series 1, series 2, and I had never seen it before. And it's really really kind of cool. So. Thank you to them for thinking of me and sending it my way.
Huh. Pretty neat.
Cool.
I'd never seen it before.
Gary
either.
Russell.
Oh.
Yeah, Gary Russell wrote it. It's got a foreword by David Tennant, I believe, and
afterward
by Russell T. Davies.
RTD.
Davis. So, it's very cool. Anyway, that was the other thing. I even brought the dang thing. I've got it in my hand, and I can remember that I was going to talk about it. I'm glad I had it, or I would have forgot it until later. So,
gotten home and seen it on the table,
yes.
and remembered.
And I think, that was the other thing I was going to talk about. All right.
Did you guys do anything else besides L.A.?
We watched a lot of movies.
We did really good at movies. We got I think through 5 movies that we had planned on watching, and they were in our stack to watch, and we got through 5. So
Yours wasn't one of them. Sorry.
That one is Perks of Being the Wallflower, by the way.
We watched Bad Grandpa.
Great movie. No,
Perks of Being
not Bad Grandpa. Not one that I will ever watch, although I've heard pretty good things.
Well, it's one of those... I made the comments I honestly feel bad for wanting to watch this. I feel like I'm a bad human being because I'm laughing at this trailer. But we watched it, and it is very funny. I will never watch it again.
Yeah.
It was a one and done.
Well, it seems like one of those ones that you don't have to see it again.
No.
Once you've seen it, all the funny and fun is over.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's no... Yeah, no.
There's no rewatch. Not a lot of replay there. We watched Mortal Instruments.
That Lily Collins... Jonathan Rhys Meyers Buffy ripoff.
Based on a book series.
It had so much potential.
Not so much.
Okay, and this is how much he has ruined me for movie watching. Okay?
This would be ripe for Mel liking before Sean's influence.
It would have been, but now, because of his influence and what he's majoring in and the film editing and stuff, we're sitting there, okay.
Would you let the woman enjoy a movie?
It's too late.
He still has Joe's apartment.
I'm not getting rid of that one. No, this was editing problems. I swear. The chick runs up the road, crosses the street, runs back down the road, and crosses the same street. And I'm like, there's the issue.
Going anywhere?
I didn't tell him anything about it. I was looking at him, waiting for his reaction. He's like, what? I was like, so it's not me. It was wrong. So I can't enjoy movies now because I'm looking for flaws in the way they shot the movie.
If there was an edit there, it was done poorly. If there was not an edit there, and it didn't appear that there was, she literally runs across the street, almost gets hit by a cab, runs down the sidewalk, and then crosses back over the street. And it's like, why? Why would you?
Yeah.
There's no. But that was a minor problem.
That was
with
an
this movie.
editing problem. Yeah. So.
And then we watched Howl's Moving Castle. Which
That
is one
was
of the-
awesome.
Oh,
That's a
I
good one.
love that movie.
Yeah.
That is a good one.
I hadn't. I'd seen like 5 minutes of it, so I was ready to sit down and really. I don't understand it. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. It was so good. And we watched Mimic, which Mel had seen and I had never seen. I didn't know that was a Guillermo del Toro film with the bugs and everything.
Yeah.
And then that one was pretty good. And we watched. There's one other one in there. I don't remember
You
now
told
what
me
it
the documentary.
Oh, we watched the
What's up, Doc?
Oh, we watched What's Up, Doc with Babbitt Steisen.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I went back to an old one there.
Yeah.
I was just in the mood. I mean,
Yeah.
you got to watch this movie, so she liked it. And we watched the Drew Struzan, The Man Behind the Poster. Drew, the Man Behind the Poster.
He is such a fascinating man.
It's on Netflix.
What is that?
Drew Struzan, the guy that did Star Wars and Back to the Future,
Oh.
and that does
The
all
poster
the
art.
poster art.
Poster
Yeah.
art, yeah.
Great
There's
documentary.
like a documentary on
Yeah,
it?
great
Oh, okay.
documentary about Drew Struzan.
Yeah, the poster. All right. It's on Netflix?
It's on Netflix.
Okay.
That's where I
Well,
saw it.
I'll try and check that one out.
And then for our we put our couple extra days at the end of the con this year instead of at the beginning, which was kind of nice to decon after the con.
That's what we kept referring to it as. We're deconning.
For the most part, we just kind of hung out at the resort. But the one day coming when we left the LAX area, we went down to Long Beach and just kind of walked around the pier area there and found the Queen Mary, which I'd kind of completely spaced off and forgot was in LA.
Mm-hmm.
And so we didn't do it, but we walked up to it and was like, wow, it was a big boat, you know.
Right.
And they have a big museum there, so I think we'll probably try and do that maybe the next time we go down, because it's right across the street from the Great Aquarium of the Pacific.
Yeah.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Which with a title like that's got to be impressive, right? You've got Great and Pacific.
Yeah,
in there,
it's a
so.
world famous zoo, yeah.
So it's not. Huh?
Great Mall of the Great Plains? Or no?
Yeah, the Great Mall, the Great Mall.
Oh, yeah, that mall you went to.
That was not a great mall.
It was not a
world
great
famous
mall.
Topeka Zoo, so.
But we didn't do either the aquarium or the Queen Mary, but we figured out where they're at and thought, maybe next
Because
time
at
we'll
least
go.
at one point was world famous.
And then we walked on the beach, and
Oh, that water was cold.
It is cold. Yeah.
There were kids in there.
Yeah. Holly and I we talked about that. We went out in August. This has been, 20 years ago. But we went out in August and the water was cold. And I thought, wow, can you imagine being here in the wintertime? I mean, it's the same temperature in the wintertime.
we went to Colorado, and there was a river running through the backyard of the resort that we stayed at. And so I told everybody, get your shoes off, we're getting in the river. And everybody, why? Because you have not lived until you've walked barefoot in a mountain stream. Now, I've done this before. I know what the water temperature is like. This is melted snow.
Right.
Okay, it's not really
coming
even
down
water.
off the highest point of the mountain.
And so everybody got into the water, and I'm laughing on the shore because I didn't take my shoes off. I've done it. The ocean water was colder than that water. It was miserable. So we just kind of walked up and down the beach. And
Makes me glad I've only ever been in the Gulf then.
The Gulf is warm.
The Gulf-
I haven't
The
been
Gulf's
there,
very
but
warm.
Holly's been there and she said it's like
Well,
remarkably warm.
Unless it's February on
Although it's
Florida.
dirty, but it's
yeah, the Gulf's dirty. That's why it's warmer.
Yeah. Well, that's not why it's warmer, but that's because it's
All
warm.
I
the,
don't know, that
all the
beach-
chemicals
I
churning
guess
up in the
it might
bottom
have
of
been
the...
the ocean when we were in Mexico. I'm not sure exactly where we were.
That's still part of the
that's
Gulf, but that's
Gulf.
cleaner
It's
Gulf
it's
down
closer
there.
to the
You
actual
don't have
end
it.
of the Gulf.
Well, the thing is, the reason why our Gulf is dirty is because all of the water deposit comes up there, and that's where the Mississippi dumps
Yeah.
in, and so you get this churning of all of the.
Well, that's the
Nasty
Louisiana,
stuff.
Texas Gulf.
Right,
The
right.
Florida Gulf isn't that dirty.
No, because again, it's not the
It's not
inlet
as-
there
yeah.
inside.
I,
yeah.
I've only been to the Florida Gulf.
The Florida
and the
Gulf
Mexico
is pretty nice. In fact, the west side
You've
of
hit both
Florida,
sides of it.
Yeah.
the west side of Florida is nice, and then
'Cause I was
supposedly
pretty
down,
much down on the corner.
yeah, down the Mexico side is pretty nice too. But
Really nice.
But yeah, so we walked around and stuck our toes in. Okay, we're good with that. And went and just kind of hung out at the hotel and hit the hot tub every day, which was awesome and glorious. And flew home.
We had a couple nice restaurants. Of course, you got to eat Bubba Gump.
Yeah, got us some bubblegum
Bubba
trim.
Gump. And then, what was the barbecue place?
yeah, you said you felt guilty eating barbecue, coming from the land of barbecue and going
In the
to.
first place you stopped.
We did. It was we touched down. I was like, I'm hungry. Yeah, me too. Okay, what do you want to eat? Barbecue. Really? Okay.
Okay.
All I could think of was like that comedian that talked about, we flew from the East Coast to Hawaii as his bit. And he says, and we land in Hawaii, and the first thing my girl says is, she says, I want to eat. It's okay. So she orders the Maine lobster. In Hawaii? It took the same flight as us. Are you kidding me? That's kind of what I felt like sitting in L.A. in a barbecue joint.
I don't think we did anything else, though. We just kind of hung out and relaxed. I mean, we had planned
Sounds
to
like
do
a
Knott's
good
Berry
vacation.
That's a
Shrine.
vacation there. We
Yeah.
got cramming everything in there.
Yeah.
And we toyed with it. We looked at maybe Knott's Berry Farm. We looked at Disneyland. We looked at a couple other things and decided, no, not this trip. We're just gonna veg. So that part of
It
it
was
really
awesome.
nice.
Especially after such a busy weekend at the
Yeah.
con. You kind of need that
Right,
regardless.
Yeah. So shall we talk about the con?
No.
Can you pry away from Legacy
No.
long enough?
No.
Oh, we're not
We'll
gonna-
do some
We gotta
feedback
we
first.
gotta-
Oh, we're gonna do that
do some
separate.
feedback
Yeah.
first.
I guess we still have some business to accommodate. So.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
I can still play.
You can
You
still
pulled
play.
a Glenn this
I
week.
pulled a
Sean.
News.
I'm just so
well,
ready
we
to
can
go.
talk about the con, but a different con.
Yeah. Good segue, Sean. Thanks.
There you go. Nice, honey.
Some news this week.
L.I Who 2, now it's personal.
Love it. Because it wasn't very personal.
No, this time it's personal.
It
This
wasn't
time
very
it's personal.
personal.
Have booked their first guest for November. And it's probably not the doctor you were expecting. Paul McGann.
Nicely
Gonna
done.
Be at or at L.I Who.
Keith's almost too clever.
Almost too clever.
If it wasn't in the
People are
subject
gonna
line
get
of the
that.
press release we got, I probably wouldn't have.
Oh,
come up with it.
all right. I can't give you credit.
No,
I
you
have to
can't
give the
give
L.I
credit.
Who guys credit for that.
Yes.
Which Ken Deep, by the way, says hi, and he says that apparently L.I Who 1 was a roaring success, and they had
Sounded like it.
several people. So I don't remember. Do you remember the number he gave us in? I shouldn't have brought it up now because I don't remember.
Yeah, he told us, and as soon as you asked, I can't remember, but he said that he had an awesome turnout. So
Oh, great.
It was an impressive number for a first time con. I mean, it seemed like it was rivaling Chicago TARDIS numbers.
Wow.
So they were very, very
Sounds like
excited.
a huge-
So
Well, that's good. That gives the three big
Yeah.
three
cities
different portions of the state.
Yeah.
of the country. Yeah.
country
Yeah.
and state.
yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
continue.
L.I Who will be November 7th through the 9th.
So November 7th through the 9th, Paul McGann, New York. Go.
Long
Mhm.
Island.
Yeah, New York.
Well, so people don't think New York. Or Buffalo, New York.
Long Island, New York. Long Island's
Is that
actually-
what LI stands for?
Yeah, Long Island. and for your information, mister, Long Island's actually in New York versus...
It's in the state of New York.
No, it's a suburb
Long
of
Island
New
is
York.
part of New York
It's
City.
New York
Yeah.
City.
I thought
Yeah.
it was across.
No, Long Island is that little island that juts out off
Of
of
New York.
That's why they call it Long
This is-
Island.
It's not
This
part
is-
of the main island.
This is Manhattan. It's
a
not
di-
part of Manhattan Island,
No,
but it's part
see?
of New York proper, the city.
I was thinking Manhattan.
Why are we discussing geography? It's never ends well.
Well, because that one I know. I've been there.
I
I,
don't
know
think-
that
I
one.
don't-
I gotta get Keith.
And Michelle is from
squared away.
Toronto, sure.
Long Island is not part of Manhattan, but Long Island
See?
Island is part of New
Ireland.
York. That was all he was saying. You think New York
I think
and
New
you
York.
think
I think Manhattan.
It's
And
not-
when I went to New York,
There's
we didn't
Man-
go down to Long Island.
Manhattan Island, Long Island.
We were only on Manhattan
And
Island.
you've got all the different
Brooklyn.
suburbs. So you've got the Bronx and Brooklyn, and
Ronkonkoma.
they'll kind of circle out around. the big
And-
city.
Ronkonkoma.
While you're on the
New
subject
York
of things
is
that
where
are
it's gonna
not
be. Thank
in
you
New
very
York,
much.
Statue of Liberty.
Statue of Liberty is not
Not
in
New York.
Yeah, that's true.
It's in New Jersey.
Yeah, Liberty Island is technically in New
It
Jersey.
is in New
yeah.
Jersey. New Jersey's been trying to claim it for years. They're not going to get it. But
Well, and you don't. It's what's the Liberty Island? What's the other island? Is it Staten Island? Is
Staten
where
Island.
where the actual processing happened and where
Yes,
the
that's
immigration
Staten.
wall is and all that. That's
Yeah,
Staten
that's-
Island,
or
which
wait,
is
it's
also
Staten Island.
that's also in New
yeah,
Jersey,
Staten
right?
Island. Yeah.
And then Battery Park, or I think they Battery Park, where you actually disembark to go see the Statue of Liberty, is in New York. That's actually at the bottom of the Manhattan Island. So.
Yes.
Little lesson there for you. Did you go down to the Statue of Liberty when you were there?
We did, and we did Ellis Island. Regardless,
Ellis Island, not Staten. Yeah, I kept thinking
Staten Island Ferry, but
Yeah,
yeah.
Ellis Island is the one where they disembark.
Manhattan, New York, where the con is.
Yeah.
Way far away.
See that whole thing that jets out
That's
there?
still Long
That's
Island.
Long Island,
You
and that's
see-
part of New York.
You see all that? It's New York. Not the state, the city. It is part of the city. It's the suburbs of the city, but it's part of the city.
Yes.
Very far suburb.
It's no different than Overland Park is not part of Kansas City.
This is our far out suburb that I just blanked on the name of.
Oakland?
No, other direction.
We have a farther out suburb than Oakland?
out by Billard. By
Oh,
Forbes.
Pauline?
Yeah, that's Pauline the Crest.
Montera.
Montera, that's
There
it.
you go,
It's Montera.
You know what? Montera's still part of Topeka, dude.
It is
Yeah,
part
it
of
is,
Topeka,
but it's
yeah.
like so far south that I don't think about it.
The weird thing about Montero,
And neither
for
do the
us,
street crews from the reports we got.
but with Montero, you actually leave the city of Topeka and then enter the city of Topeka again, and that's Montero. Anyway, nobody cares about our
Nobody cares.
suburbs. If you can
I'm so
call them
glad all our new
suburbs.
listeners are coming in and going, oh, right, they're going to talk about Galley eventually.
What's
Maybe.
this Montera? I wanted to listen to Galley reports. All right, let's move
Well,
on. to
very
feedback.
exciting for
Oh wait,
my
no,
own
let's do
doing
another news issue.
There's one
Now
more
I'm
bit of
trying to-
news.
I'm trying to rush us ahead. I want to hear about Galley. We're skipping feedback this
The
week.
British Board Film Classification has cleared a number of extras for a new DVD release entitled Doctor Who 50th Anniversary Collector's Edition. The special edition will...
I like how you read this like they've cleared these extras, like, they had to get permission from the Queen.
Well, they
And-
have to. They get permission from the BBC.
Well, but you just make it sound so much more interesting than I'm sure it actually is. It's like declassified stuff is now coming
What's
out.
it called?
and-
What's the board?
The British Board of Film Classification.
See? I mean, that's
Sounds very proper. doesn't
like
it?
Men in
Very
Black kind of
prim and
stuff.
proper.
I like how I'm getting credit for something that they named it.
You just read it with such authority. You should be on the other end of the desk. You really should.
I don't know about that. The special edition version of the anniversary special Day of the Doctor will include 2 introductions shown to cinema viewers.
Aww.
So those of us that got to see it in the theater,
Yeah. We'll
It will
finally
now
get to
be-
see it.
yeah, everyone else will get to see it now. You don't care about lengths. There's a deleted scene which was released on YouTube but wasn't included on our DVDs. And then also cleared is the Doctor Who Ultimate Guide, the 2-hour documentary that aired on BBC Three, and the Science of Doctor Who with Professor Brian Cox.
And we watched both of those, right? I remember watching the science. We watched the Ultimate
I
Guide.
watched Science. I don't know that I got all the way through Ultimate Guide.
I watched
thought we
Ultimate
watched
Guide. I
both
don't
of them.
think I finished Science.
Oh, see, science was really good.
I
liked them both.
I started and I thought I should make Sarah watch this with me.
But we haven't watched
yet.
the Proms yet, so you're still one up.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, no problems on this either. There's some speculation that they're going to include a bonus disc for Adventure in Space and Time.
On this?
That's speculation. There's no official announcement on that yet. And there's no. It doesn't. This also doesn't say if it's going to be DVD or Blu-ray. It says DVD, but just it's for a digital release.
Well, they didn't do a Blu-ray release of the other. You had to buy the 3D version to get a
but
Blu-ray.
that's becoming very, very common now. Like
Yeah.
Thor, Dark World, you can get either the 3D Blu-ray special edition that has all the bonus features, or just the 1-disc Blu-ray edition.
All right.
And it's only like
right,
$2 more.
But at least that was still, you could have got it on Blu-ray.
Yeah, without any bonus features.
Yeah, but you could have got it on Blu-ray. Doctor Who, you didn't have that option. You had to buy the 3D. And this is the other thing interesting about, just a side note about Thor, the 3D Blu-ray one that's coming out doesn't have a DVD on it.
You're right. It's
not a
It's a Blu-ray
3-pack combo. It's
a-
Blu-ray 3D and Blu-ray
And
disc.
digital.
And digital, but
yeah.
no DVD,
Yeah, that's a good point. Look at that.
which I don't like. I want my DVD copy too. Well, because I have so many people that I loan stuff out to, and it's like,
Yeah,
if I buy it
that's
on
true.
Blu-ray,
Yeah.
then they're like,
Yeah.
But if I have the combo, I was like, yeah, I got that. I got you covered. That's how much I loan stuff out. I think of everybody else when it comes to these purchases.
You're so kind.
So hopefully we'll get more news.
You're just going to have to issue a Blu-ray player at the same time.
Yeah, I'll just go buy a bunch of Blu-ray players. Yeah, you can rent that with this.
To start charging people. And there's also no word if the included bonus features from the release already will be on this. So there's no word if Night of the Doctor.
Right.
If you ditch your 3D version, if it's going to be included on the collector's edition.
I'm waiting. I still haven't bought my.
Well, you're
Data
in a
Doctor.
good position
I
at this point.
almost bought it. In fact, a couple of weeks ago, and I didn't. And now I'm like, okay, I'm going to wait again. So let's see where we're at, because I'll buy the 50th, I suppose, if it's got everything plus this extra stuff that's coming out. So.
Yeah, I think it'd definitely be worth if. For those of us who already own it, I think the only thing that would make it probably more worthwhile
is the intros.
Would be if they added Adventure in Space and Time.
Oh, yeah. The intros by themselves are not worth upgrading. As much as I loved the intros, they're not worth it.
I've seen them once.
But
you put Adventure in Space Time on there, I'll pony up another $10.
Is really good.
This is true.
And that's an hour program. And you get the Ultimate Guide, which is really good. It's kind of it's kind of a more detailed version or betterly done version of the
Revisited.
Revisiteds, yeah. So I think I ditch my old one and get that one if all of the additional material is still on there.
If none of the Doctor's not on there, I'm not buying it.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I'd pass it up.
You hear me, BBC?
On protest.
But it's good stuff. All right, let's move on to feedback.
First up, Scott's, who actually sent this in last week. Sorry, Scott, we missed it. Again.
Scott,
it's really not personal. I swear. I swear.
Scott, I think that it's just I need to be here to keep these guys on their toes because
that couldn't.
He would have never known we got it.
That's true. It was a blizzard all the way. Daffy Duck. I can't do a Daffy Duck, so I'm not even gonna try. Hi, Kansas crew. I don't know if it's a good idea to associate this winter with the site. He left us comments on, I believe it was Michelle's pictures from the snow in Canada. Yes, so that's what he's referring to. If you guys aren't quite sure, go check out that post. It might make some people grumpy. I've also been wanting to write you guys for a while, but it seems between making up time at work missed from the weather and just dealing with the weather, the weekend is over just when it started for me.
That's okay, Scott. By the time you write to us, we'll be reading your last one.
I don't want to extensively comment on all that's happened since I've seen Time of the Doctor, but I wanted to try a few. I made notes. Enjoyed Time of the Doctor more the second time than the first.
Yay!
Hearing your review really helped a lot. Thanks.
Oh, well, thank you.
You're welcome.
I think
it sounds like I just thanked you, and you told me I was welcome.
You are most welcome.
Thank you, Scott, I'm glad that you're mentioning that, and you're welcome for it helping. There you go.
Yeah. They followed us. They know what's up.
I think the E-Space trilogy works better in context of the chronological order of stories than on its own. The previous season I liked, but honestly, that was a time when I was starting to feel maybe it was my time to go. Between the budget problems, general aimlessness of the stories, and now having a strong finish, Series 17 felt meh. In contrast, Series 18 had much more direction and drive. It felt like the stories were moving somewhere.
That's interesting because I'm not picking on Dr. Phil, but that means Dr. Phil's kind of the lone person who really, really champions 17 out of our group.
I think I like 17 quite a bit. I don't remember.
Well, you haven't seen all of them yet.
And I haven't seen them in order either, so that makes a huge difference. I can say, I like these, but as a cohesion, as a season, I might not like it as much.
Yeah.
Wasn't Series 18...
18 is the one.
Is Leisure Hive and the E-Space Trilogy.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. Right?
I thought 17 was
No, 17 was the...
18 is the one...
Ended with Nymons.
Oh. 18 is the one...
Right? Maybe I'm off. No, and then 19 was when Davison came in.
Okay. That's what he's saying.
Okay.
He likes
then I'm wrong.
He's agreeing with
Dr. Phil.
From what I understand.
Okay. I always remember what Dr. Phil said wrong, too, then.
I thought... Phil likes... Leisure Hive. He likes the last. He likes the last
series.
Is it 18?
Yeah,
it's 18. You're right because it's 18 Scarf. That's what it is. You're right.
I was gonna say, I could be wrong, but that's pretty sure that was 18.
You're right.
18. I'm the one that comes down on the side of I don't like 18. But
I'm kind of meh on it, but oh well, never mind. We'll get to the rest of it later. We'll do a whole paddle. We'll do a whole podcast on season 18.
No, we won't.
Sure, we won't.
No, we won't.
We'll be stretching.
Do that when I'm on vacation, would you?
I would be okay with
I don't want to
watching
talk
them
about
all
these
in order.
basically.
No, because I want you to have your venomous fangs out to puncture the
my state of decay vampire fangs. I'd rather talk about Kenda and have my snake fangs out. Or snake dance, for that matter.
Why has nobody cosplayed as that?
All right, keep going.
As a vampire or as Kenda?
Kenda.
I think I've seen that somewhere.
You haven't watched it yet.
No, but I've seen cosplay of it, I think.
Keep going.
I love scary, monstrous vampires. Love State of Decay.
Yay! Wait.
No.
Are you? Yeah.
I don't know. I'm such a follower.
I thought we hooked him there for a minute.
I was always intrigued and baffled by Warrior's Gate, which I liked because it felt like a mental challenge.
That we can all agree on.
Intrigued and baffled.
That's a good description.
Why didn't we just say that?
The quote is going on the back of the
Intrigued
box.
and baffled.
While watching this, I was intrigued and baffled.
As opposed to confused and baffled while watching Ghostlight.
You were intrigued and baffled by Ghostlight.
I was. Mostly because I was so baffled by it. He continues, the best critique I've heard of it, sorry, I can't recall where exactly, calling it Romana in Wonderland. From the mirror entrances everywhere, nowhere locations, subversion of logic, and the thralls, Cheshire cat people. It kind of works.
That's kind of work. I hadn't thought of that.
Some information about Boudica, spelled with 1 or 2 C's. She is a famous real historical figure, a Welsh warrior queen who fought against the Romans. There's a famous statue of her in London where she's in a chariot standing tall holding a spear. A BBC movie was made about her around 2002 starring Alex Kingston. It might be on Netflix as Warrior Queen.
I am currently booting up my Netflix.
Sean will look at this while I read this next part, which will...
Not because I want to correct him, but because I totally want to watch this movie. And thank you for that, because we were
which
totally...
It may be
like,
available on Netflix in disc and not streamed.
No, that could be too.
So he could still be correct.
I'm not, like I said, I'm not trying to prove him wrong. I want to watch the movie, so... Because I really liked the story, and that's what we talked about, is I wonder if she's real. Apparently she was.
I think I told you she was real, but okay.
I think I inferred
Apparently you
it
don't
was
listen
real.
to me.
I'm sorry,
is so bad, Glenn.
did Glenn say something?
This is the part of the email that will obviously sound dated. I know 2 out of 3 of you are missing out on Gallifrey on this weekend, but if you check with Wizard World, Karen Gillian, Nathan Fillion, and Carl Urban will be here in Philly this year. This first weekend in June. I don't know about the other dates near to you, but it's worth looking into. This is actually much more... okay, before I continue, Nathan Fillion is coming to St. Louis in April.
Yep.
So...
Glenn doesn't care. He doesn't have a man crush
No,
on him.
I like him.
do.
I like him. I
So-
would get an autograph from him if it wasn't $100.
Philly might be worth going to for Karen Gillian and Carl Urban.
$100 for Nathan Fillion's signature.
Yeah, but when are you ever going to
No.
get it again?
No, I'm never going to get it at $100.
It's not $100. It's $99.99.
Yeah. Wow. That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard
Then
of.
I'll wait until he's
Warrior Queen is not listed on Netflix.
We'll wait until Nathan Fillion's Shatner's age, when he'll be, or
then it'll be
Bruce Campbell's,
$50.
and he'll be $50. Although Shatner's 75, so
Oh, that's right. Shatner is.
depends on how much.
I'm not getting Shatner in
Depends on
our
how much
con
further
either.
Castle goes,
I'm not gonna. No.
and if he gets,
Nathan Fillion.
if he finally gets a Marvel appearance.
How did we go from free autographs when I was a kid to $99.99 for a okay actor?
You can go to Wizard World St. Louis and get a free autograph from Tech 9. No offense to anybody who might be a Tech 9 who likes Tech 9. Some people do.
Burt
I didn't even
Ward
know
is
who that
charging
was until
50.
Keith told me who it was. Huh?
Burt Ward is charging 50.
Well, I wouldn't get Burt Ward's either. So.
Yeah, but I mean, at what state?
Well,
do you-
that's the Adam West. You can
The
get a
difference
combo
is,
picture.
yeah, I want Nathan Fillion's, but I don't want Burt Ward's.
If Burt Ward wasn't charging 50, I'd have got Burt Ward's because I felt like I wanted Adam West.
Yeah.
I have to go to WizardCon just so I can pitch my movie idea, because I want to put William Shatner in a movie as William Shatner with Adam West as Adam West, and I want them to play each other on their way to a con, and something
They're gonna
happens.
play each other?
They're going to play themselves.
Oh, okay. Each other. I thought
They're playing each
Shatner
other.
was playing West, and West was playing Shatner.
No, that would be far too awesome.
Okay, so they're playing themselves,
They're playing
not each
themselves and they're on the way to a con, and something happens, and they have to like rent a car, and it becomes this cross country road trip with William Shatner and
kind
Adam
of
West.
planes, trains, and automobiles. And
Yeah, only more
it's
awesome.
like a road trip, an awesome
awesome road
icon
trip.
road trip.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Oh, I'm on board.
Yeah.
That would be so cool.
I mean, just the poster.
You better
Shatner, West. Yeah, I'm there.
You better get a script written before you pitch it to them.
No, I don't need a script for this movie.
It's Shatner.
Well, okay,
I
that's
mean,
true. You better get the rights or something
I'm
so
just
that
gonna-
nobody steals
I'm
this
just going
from
to
you.
pitch the
Too
idea.
late. Somebody's already on it.
I'm just going to pitch the idea, and they're going to go, yeah.
As soon as this released, somebody started making this movie. As soon as this episode of our podcast came out, somebody heard this and went,
I think Shatner will only do it if he gets to do some Shakespeare.
I think Shatner will only do it if he gets top bill.
okay, hang on, real quick. Shatner, West, road trip movie, copyright. 2014, Sean Collins. Okay.
There we go.
Thank you.
That took care of
See you in a
it.
circle.
See you in a circle.
Scott continues. This is actually a much shorter letter than I expected.
But
now,
we made it much longer.
But now I feel caught up. During this time, I have to school another podcaster on K9's history. He thought Mark 1 was the same K9 who left with Romana, completely forgetting Invasion of Time, and the Doctor having Mark 2 out in a box. I informed him of him as politely as I could, and he was grateful. But it goes to show you have to be careful who you listen to. I may not always agree with your opinions of certain stories, but you know you're who. Ha ha ha.
Are we sure Scott really listens to us?
What was it in...
Scott, I can count on one hand the number of things that we've gotten wrong this week.
You can count on two hands the number of things we've gotten wrong this week.
Was it Mark who coined the phrase, or just like Doctor Who controversial? Or
Doctor Who controversial. That's our new show, Doctor Who controversial.
Doctor Who confidential, with more witty banter and less facts.
Yeah.
I think it was Alex, wasn't it?
Alex, yes. Alex, I knew it was Alex or Mark. He finishes up, take care. Don't turn your back on any snowmen with bad attitudes, Scott.
I think it's funny that he says, I always agree with your opinion. I don't always agree with your opinions, but I know you know your who. In the same story that Sean was going down, that was series 18, where wasn't that series 17 where Leisure Hive and State of Decay?
We never claimed to know our seasons.
No.
Actually, we
know our who, but we don't know our seasons.
The bottom comment was directed at you guys, not me. That's how that.
Well, he did say
I guess
two of you
if we can get
Yeah.
one or the other of us back on track with the right information. If you've come out with the right information by the end of our discussion, then we
That's
know
all
our
that
who.
matters.
They've succeeded.
If one of us can Google quick enough before we finish.
I can count on Keith or Sean to IMDb or Wiki it before the end of the show.
I only look things up if I think you're wrong.
Yeah, Wiki's your thing. IMDb's your
I
thing.
really, if you say something and it sounds reasonable, I'm like, yeah, okay. If I know for a fact that you're wrong, I'll go look it up. And if you are, I will bring it to your attention. And if you're not wrong, I won't say anything.
Yeah. That's why you hardly ever bring up things I'm wrong with.
That's an unfortunate truth. You're right far more often than I think you are.
Up next is Chrissy.
And Chrissy writes, to Gallifrey with love.
Wait.
What?
I got this.
Oh.
Don't jump out of order, Glenn.
Well, it was a Chrissy feedback. I thought I had to read
Can't
it.
have Chrissy's.
I'm not allowed.
Dear Vortex,
I thought it was obligated.
Yeah, no. You thought. Dear Vortex boys and Mel, I'm going to keep this one short because I'd like Sean and Mel to have as much time as possible to share their galley adventures with us. But real quick, last Friday night I came home from being away for a couple of days, and I had a letter sitting on the kitchen counter for me with a return address in Kansas. You sure it wasn't Canada?
That's an inside joke.
Sorry,
Keep
inside
going.
joke. Enclosed was a Traveling the Vortex galley ribbon and a really sweet note from Sean and Mel saying that I would be missed at galley. This little note totally made my week and made it easier to listen to all the galley updates and such, even though I couldn't be there. So thank you for thinking of me. I can't tell how much it meant to me. I'm going to try and get to galley next year. No promises at the outset, but I'm going to make the effort. No.
Okay.
No. This doesn't work for me.
Wait. Before you go on, I too didn't get to go to galley this year. I didn't get a nice little note from Traveling the Vortex or the Traveling the Vortex galley ribbon saying a week before saying that you were going to miss me. What the heck?
He said it in person.
Chrissy's prettier.
All right, you got me. Go on. That's true.
She is.
We missed you, Chrissy.
I can't argue with that.
I got nothing. Chrissy, this whole I'm not going to make any promises at the outset, I'm going to try. This doesn't work. We've already thrown that gauntlet down if you listen to all the Galley updates. We expect everybody to be there next year. You two included.
Help me with my resume then.
All right.
Because he knows I'm calling in sick again next year.
There's no way.
She continues. I loved all the Galley updates.
I already feel it coming on.
Oh, yes.
You're out.
Sounds like a head cold.
I'm going to die.
I particularly enjoyed hearing Michelle join in on the side trips from Galley. She never did say what happened with her and Frasier, though. I'll have to ask her later about that. And the Doctor Who Legacy interview was fantastic. And I did see that they linked to it on their Facebook page. Hooray! Also, I've seen lots of pictures from cosplayers from the con, but I haven't seen any 12th Doctor costumes. And that really surprised me. Tons of Osgoods from the Day of the Doctor, though. Were there any 12s at all, or have I just been looking at the wrong Twitter feeds? I'm really curious. Enough from me. Talk about Galley. Chrissy. Yes, Chrissy, there were
I saw tweets about them, but I never saw pictures.
Yeah, I saw two different doctors.
There were two different Capaldi's.
Yeah.
And yes, I have pictures of them. No, I haven't got them all posted yet.
That's where I saw. I think you. No, it wasn't you. Oh, Sal, I think, has one. Which, by the way, I'm friends with now.
Oh, good.
Yeah. You must have passed my information along to him.
No, I don't think so.
Right after I heard you talk about him in the podcast, I got a friend request.
We saw him at
I think he liked traveling the Vortex.
Yeah, I
too.
think that's what it was.
Oh, did he?
'cause-
Oh, okay.
yeah.
We saw him at Burger King the next morning.
Well, he sent me a friend request.
Well, I think he's probably he sent a
then-
friend request to Sean.
Yeah, 'cause then he asked me for the
Vortex,
last
sent one to
name.
you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he asked me for the last name, and I told him, he's like, I'm going to look you up on Facebook when I get home. I was
Ah,
like,
there
oh,
you
okay,
go.
cool. So that's how
why.
he, yeah.
Okay. Well, I remembered him from last year.
Yeah.
Just by face, because you talked about him at the pod and the update. No clue. I was like, okay, somebody that you'd seen, at least two other times. And then as soon as I got the Facebook friend request, I looked at it and went, I remember him
Sal.
from last
See?
year.
It's like,
And I think I called him whatever doctor it was last year.
You just when at Galley, that's something you do. You just, hey doctor, hey, whatever character they're cosplaying as, and they'll turn around. You don't have to know anybody's name.
So, yes, there are more photos coming. I haven't got them all. I'll talk about that here when we actually get into the Galley part. There was another technical faux pas. It's not Galley without a technical faux pas. But there are more photos coming. And,
It's not Sean without a technical phone call.
I wasn't going to say that, but
And Michelle has, since Michelle's running the Tumblr page, she's already asked me, are you going to get the photos to me? So, yes, Michelle, they're coming. I didn't get a chance to do it this weekend, but I will get them all sent to you so you can upload them on our Tumblr page as well. So, thank you, Chrissy.
Next up is Holly.
Holly writes. That's why you guys gave me this one. This is the really long one this week, so
Yeah.
that makes sense. Okay. 165 Galley time. Wow, thanks for all the updates and side trips. Really enjoyed listening to them and can't wait to hear more of the adventures that were had at Galley. I'll wrap it up here. Holly from Wisconsin. Thank you, Holly.
Thanks, Holly.
And your short email allows us to get right into Sean and Mel's discussing their
25 years
Mad
of Gallifrey 1.
madcap adventures.
I have notes.
I'm a little
Oh
jealous.
boy.
You jealous?
Well, here's the thing is, last weekend was the hardest, because I didn't think it was going to hit me that hard. The last weekend was the hardest, because listening to your updates, watching the Twitter feeds, seeing posts
Everybody
on
else's
Facebook,
Twitter feeds.
Everybody having fun.
Not my Twitter
Yeah, I
feed.
know yours were. And I kept watching. I was like, I miss it so bad. So I set my goal. I'm getting there again next year. I'm
and
no holds barred.
Can you believe that we actually played with the notion of not going? And it's like, yeah, right. We're going again.
We did. We toyed with it.
You can't get away from it.
I will have my ticket. You may have to get our hotel, but I'll pay you.
Hotel's a sticky subject with Mel tonight. Don't bring that up.
All right. Well,
Anyway,
we'll let you guys launch right into Gallifrey 25.
well, we have gifts for you.
Yay! Can we get those first?
Yeah, let's do gifts
Yay.
first. First of all, for both of you, these are from Michelle, with special instructions that we are to eat them on the podcast tonight.
Biscuits of cream?
Oh, hey, we get stuff from Britain all the time. We don't get anything from Canada.
That was her thought
Those are
process.
Those maple leaves?
Yes.
Where is she? She's in Toronto, right?
No, She's in a small
Wait,
town.
wait, no, Vancouver.
No, she's definitely not in Vancouver. She's in
Ontario?
She's in
Yeah, well,
Quebec.
Quebec, yeah.
Yeah, not Ontario.
No.
But, what, 3 hours from Ontario?
It starts with a K, like Kissinger.
Kessler or something,
Kessler.
Kitchener.
Kitchener, thank you.
I knew that it was a K.
Facebook.
How many times you got her? You're not from Vancouver. You're not from Toronto. You're not from Ontario.
I was talking with Sean about this, and I'm sorry, Michelle, but I had no idea that Vancouver was clear on the other side of the coast. It was on the other coast of Canada. From
Yeah, Vancouver's like just north of California.
I did not know where Vancouver was. I had no idea.
Oh, yeah.
Just
yeah,
north of
I
California.
know it's the Hollywood
It's
of
the
Canada.
Hollywood of Canada because it's well,
But it never occurred to me that it was actually north of Hollywood.
it's not a very long distance for a lot of the actors too. And the crackling is us opening these cookies, which, if you look at the other side, the English
it's
version
English.
is on the other side. Well, that's
Was it in Canadian?
Biscuits
it's in Canadian. Yeah, that's Canadian. Yes, Sean, that's Canadian. Here, give me that.
I'm
This
kind
is-
of upset
this is-
Michelle didn't speak any
this is-
Canadian
this
while we
is
were
how
together.
You say it in Canadian. Biscuits a cream ou sirop de irrebleu.
I think that's French.
It is French.
I don't know.
Making
You
fun
took
of you.
French. Do you
Oh,
know?
is that in
I
Canadian?
took one semester.
Yes. Quebec is
Quebec.
part of
I can
the
translate.
French Canadian
Can
region.
you translate this?
Cream biscuits.
Maple syrup cream cookies made with pure maple syrup.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to try these. This
24.
must be the. Is this the Jammy Dodger of the North? They smell really good. They smell very maple.
Oh, they smell like syrup.
They
You didn't
do.
give Mel one.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, yeah,
He's
you
good.
are here, Mel. Hi. have a maple cookie.
He's
Playing-
sleeping on the floor.
This is also from Michelle for you.
That won't be any different than last time. That's neat.
Ooh, these are good.
Oh, these are good.
They're good.
I'm keeping these.
All right, don't let me lose that. That's small. It's if for people that can't see, it's
You
a
keep all the food.
it's a tie pin. It's a
There may
tie
not be
pin.
enough.
It's a Canadian flag. So thank you very much, Michelle. Give me a cookie first. Hang on.
Yes, thank you, Michelle.
These are good.
Oh, they are good. I could. You know what? This would be good with
Coffee.
tea.
Ooh,
Ooh.
try
Yeah.
tea. Dip them in there.
Again, he falls down and no
I
tea.
don't
I'm
drink-
just gonna have
I
to
don't
bring
drink
tea
tea.
one of these
We
weekends.
have our tea yet, Keith?
I guess I'm the
I can bring you some
I'm the
coffee.
only real tea drinker, I guess. So maybe you do drink, but you drink those crazy weird flavors. You like chai, which I like.
Oh, I do like chai, but I drink other tea too.
But to
I
be
like
fair,
the
you
good old,
guys
I
prefer
like the
chai
good old
lattes.
fashion blacks like Earl Grey and those kind of things.
Well, that's what I had at Gala. It was not Earl Grey, but it was just a stout English, and it was
A
good.
black tea, yeah.
It was a black tea.
I just don't
These-
drink tea.
you know,
these
this
are
is like-
great.
It's like a McGriddle without the sausage.
Michelle, you may have to mail,
yeah,
mail
you're
some
right.
more of these. Oh, it is, yeah. You have to mail some more of these. With you just put down the Canadian cookie by calling it McDonald's product.
That's probably one of the best sandwiches McDonald's has.
Michelle, this is better than a McGriddle without the sausage.
It's really good.
Oh, wow.
There's no egg either.
I said it was like.
There's no egg either.
There's probably some egg in that shortbread.
Well, yeah,
I like the cookies, Michelle.
Yeah.
those are really good. I need some water now.
So,
So if you're out and
These would
about,
also just
Wait
be
a
good
minute,
with
wait a
milk.
UK 0, Canada.
No,
We did like the digestive.
we like the digestive.
we like the digestives.
So, but that's
we did not like the Marmite,
So it's 1 out of 3.
1 out of 3.
and we did not
Canada
like
1
the
for
Jammy
1.
Dodgers.
1 for 1.
Yes.
If this was the Olympics, Canada would have all the gold medals at this point when it comes to the food. So this is tastefully Canadian. 24 pieces, 400 grams of what? Or is that just total weight?
I'm going to Gallifrey. I'm not going to Gallifrey. I'm going to California.
Hey, I want that one. Give me that one.
Canada. I'm going to Canada. Good lord. Oh, you know them?
Yes. Those are really good.
These are really good. I wonder if we can find these in our local grocery store. Probably not.
I'll check the
No.
import section.
Check the import section for me. Where you going?
Oh, maybe that market next to Brit.
Canada? Where's that? Oh, did you see my...
Apparently,
Oh,
it's just north
I'm
of
going- look at this.
California.
Both sides of the border. I've got my Mexican Coke and my Canadian cookies.
I was going to comment on your Mexican Coke, actually, that
Yeah.
you're sitting here with a glass bottle of Coca-Cola,
You know,
driving me nuts.
You know why I get these?
Glenn apparently does not
Made
support
with
the USA.
pure cane sugar, not the high fructose
Cornstarch. That's
Yes.
why I get these. They're so much better.
Yeah, they're so much better. These are for you.
Oh, ribbons.
And I realized your Merca ribbons at home. I forgot it. Those came straight from Galley. The Merca ribbon I had pulled aside so that we would know not to hand yours out.
Aww. Who wants to kill our mascot? When a good Merc is a dead Merca.
He laughed so hard when he saw our ribbon. He says, I got one for you.
These are great. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right, can I put them back in the bag?
put them back in the bag.
It's your bag.
I want to see your ribbons.
Are yours different?
I think so.
Yeah, well,
Oh, okay. Now, before you get antsy, once again, Keith's a little easier to shop for at times. Because pretty much anything K9 or Cybermen, it's like, oh yeah, he's got to have that, you know.
These are the ones I got.
So he may have a few differences than what you have.
In addition to this.
Oh, why is that him?
I don't know. Why is that one his?
what?
The I Escape
You
the
have
Dalek
one?
Asylum.
Oh, I do. I didn't see it.
Okay, we'll get you. Some of them are duplicates. Some of you got both.
Yeah. Okay.
So, since we're on the subject of ribbons, let's talk ribbons.
I like that.
Good.
I don't know if anybody saw the numbers. The official numbers came in from the ribbon strand for this year. I got 173.
Yeah, right.
So we went first year without handing ribbons out, handing out business cards. I got 33. Second year handing out ribbons, I got 107. This year, 173.
Give Mel totals.
Mel, 30. So I beat her first year. 125 to 107 the second year. And 178 to 173
She
this
by
year.
what, 3?
Yeah, 5.
5. Oh, you were 170.
Yeah, so she still beat me again.
Well,
I told
how
everybody.
many ribbons did you hand out compared
Yeah.
to Sean?
Well, I've told everybody. I was like, I'm pimping for him here. You know? so I'd say,
I was
here's a ribbon.
the tag along. She's like, well, it's actually his podcast. Can I have one for him too? And they kind of roll their eyes like, I don't think this 2 for 1's such a good trade, but okay. But then there were so many others where I'd ask for her, and they'd kind of look around like, yeah, right, there's nobody with you. And I'm like, no, seriously, she's doing something where she's handing out a ribbon on the other. And they're kind of like, yeah, right. Or they would be handing out ribbons like, oh, can I get a couple? And I'll get you ribbons as soon as she comes back. Because it was very early on that she decided just not to entrust any of the ribbons to me. She just kept all of them.
Do you blame her?
Yeah.
No. And then she would come trotting up, and they would go, oh, like there actually is this other person. And so I
Not imaginary.
So I started going, she's my +1. And we decided that's next year's ribbon.
That is some next year's ribbons.
We're going to run a ribbon that says I'm the doctor, and another one says she's my +1. No, actually, next year's ribbon's already planned and spell checked.
Oh gosh, can I talk about it now? Then I was going to leave you off the hook.
So angry
I was
about
going to leave
that.
you off the hook.
Why are you
Chrissy.
saying anything?
Wait. So Sean sends me back some of the audio that I use for the show, and I'm editing all the galley updates. Now, granted, I saw the ribbons 2 weeks ago when he got them, before he left for galley. And I looked at the ribbons, and they looked great, and I loved them, and we had such a great ribbon. It's fantastic. Kudos to you for coming up with that idea, both of you guys. So, halfway through the con, I get a little audio clip from Nicola Bryant that I could include in the show, and she reads, "Traveling the Vortex, a podcast so awesome that the Micra is our mascot," which is what our ribbon says.
Well,
And it actually says that, because then I went back and I looked at a post that Sean had done earlier. And it says halfway through the con. And the reason she read it Micra... Sean?
Chrissy, go to your envelope that you probably have framed somewhere under your pillow and pull out the ribbon. Tell me what's wrong with it.
Sean can't spell.
It says Micra.
It says micro. I transposed a couple of
I
letters there.
quietly texted Sean and said, huh, did you realize that Merca spelled wrong on our ribbons? And the only thing I got back from him was,
Don't. After you've handed out,
Kind of late now.
Too late.
Yeah. I think by that time...
Where were you when I was doing the, hey, look at this ribbon, what do you think? Should I order them?
I wish. I so wish I got that sooner.
You can't say anything, but...
But thank you, Nicola Bryant, for
yeah.
for catching the way it was... Sorry, we just got a sneak peek at next year's ribbon.
Anyway, yeah. And people all over...
You're going to have to wait nearly a year to find out what it was. Listen,
I know. I wish that one had been this year's. Because maybe I'd have spell-checked Merca in the meantime. But...
do I need to spell-check that one?
No, I think maybe it's okay. You know...
Those are all words that would show up squiggly. With a squiggle underneath it. The Merca will show up squiggly no matter what you type, where you type it.
Right.
It's one of those words you just
Spell check will catch those words.
Yeah.
Well, of course that's spelled wrong. It's not really a word
It's
in the
not really a
American
word.
language.
So I can understand why it happened, because it's not a real word.
We got so many great responses. Because you could tell the new Who fans were like, "Oh, thanks, ribbon," and the old Who fans were like, "Ah!" and just lost it. Just such great reaction from those people.
It's still a great ribbon.
So yeah, we had a lot of fun with that, and a lot of range in the ribbons this year. Like just the stuff that was on them, and we didn't think to bring them, but I mean, it's a long strand this year, and there's just so many good ones. So we saw a lot of Night of the Doctor references, tons and tons and tons of 4 minutes. That's ages. Bring me knitting. Variations on that.
I told Sarah the story you relayed to me.
Yeah, we lost hers. I have no idea what happened.
They got her one of them. She's like, "Oh, that would be great."
Yeah, we got her a knitting ribbon. You know, it's got a little ball and a thing on it. I have no idea what happened to it.
Aww.
Yeah.
She's still like the ones you guys got her.
Oh, good.
The ribbons were far and vast. I mean, ribbons this year, and I think we say it every year, but there was a lot of trading going on this year. A lot of trading, a lot of ribbons, a lot of just neat, cool designs and thoughts, and it just amazes me where they come up with this stuff, like Drunken Giraffe, you know, just...
I like the 2-part one that was "This is a ribbon," and then the next ribbon that he gave you was, but probably not the one you were expecting.
I see what you did there. That's awesome.
There's always that one that's kind of an aside, like, why are you handing this out? I mean, I get it, but and this year's was it was a big mustache, and it said, "I don't shave for Sherlock." And it's like 1,000 points. Why not? You know,
why not?
We'll just go there.
We've already established it's Who's cousin. Sherlock is Who's cousin.
Sherlock is Who's cousin.
Did we?
Yeah.
Was I in on that one?
When we discussed it coming back for season 3.
Oh, we did?
Oh no, it was when Sherlock won Best Detective Show award, and I said, and because Doctor Who's won stuff, and I said, and the Doctor Who's cousin Sherlock.
I had no idea where you were going. Okay, I got you now.
Everyone else understood
Sherlock
what I meant.
is not the Doctor's cousin.
The show
program is the cousin to me. I got you.
Okay,
now.
well, I was thinking, maybe there was something revealed in the background.
Oh, good. I'm not the only one.
He's half human on his mother's side. He totally could be.
Wow. Okay.
He's half human on his mother's side.
Right,
Totally
right,
could be.
right.
Totally could be. What else we do? Colin. Let's start with Colin, because the awesomeness that is Colin Baker. He missed out.
Yeah.
He missed out. And Mel talked a little bit in the updates about how her newfound love and respect for him.
Totally. Total admiration for a man to go through all that and still have the love that he has for what Doctor Who is and the fans. You know, he has no ill-felt feelings towards anybody. He just totally enjoys the show for Doctor Who, for what it is and for what it does for people. So that's, to me, to see that, to go through all that and see him and hear him is just, he's an amazing man.
And he is he's the president of the Doctor Who fan appreciation fan club, or I forget the actual.
He got voted in or chosen to be
He was chosen to be the president, which is it's an honorary position. I guess he doesn't have to do a whole lot, which he's thrilled with. But the former president was Nicholas Courtney.
Oh.
And so
he got the title after Nicholas.
And he talked about how honored he felt that he was next. That he just absolutely, and that He genuinely loves Who. And this was the thing that really blew my mind. And we saw him in 3 panels or 2? 3 if you include the Radio Free Scar bit at the beginning.
3 if not more, because every chance I got to see him on a panel and sell him.
And every time they opened the floor to questions, there was one person who brought up Michael Grade. And, you know, how do you feel about this? Are you still angry? Are you still this? Are you still bitter? Blah, 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 blah. And the fans were very much, yeah, we hate him, and he's evil, and he's, you know, blah, 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 blah. And Colin would stop these people and be like, hey, wait. The guy did his job as he saw fit. I don't agree with his decision. I don't like his decision. I don't hate him as a human being because it's, you know, he was doing a job, and it was one decision that affected my life, but it, you know, worked out for the best because I'm sitting here talking to you guys now, you know. And he said, you know, maybe it wouldn't have if we'd gone the other direction with it. He says, but you know, I says, I'm not going to waste any of my time worrying about it. And he says, I don't think you should either. And just so diplomatic about it because he has every right to be angry. I mean, he has every right to stew about it and stay awake at night and let it eat him, and he doesn't. He just and he's encouraging other people not to too. I took so much respect away from for that he's not bitter, even though he could be. You know, I mean, that was just amazing to hear that. But his ambassadorship of the show, and like we talked a little bit on the with the sixth Doctor's era panel that they had with everybody up there, and they talked a little bit about the violent content. They talked a little bit about this, and I wish I could remember who moderated that one. Now I didn't think to bring the program book, but he commented. He says the Sixth Doctor's era is my favorite out of all of Doctor Who. I love this, and I grew up with it, and I will stand behind it. For anybody who wants to argue, oh, it wasn't very good, blah, blah. He says I'll gladly point to this and say no, this is the pinnacle of the show. But it was just really interesting. Series of thought processes that that went into that, and some of the things that happened. But through the whole thing, Colin remained just above the board awesome, and he was great. And I don't think he remembered us when we went back to get his little piece of audio, which was probably a good thing.
All right, what's the story there?
Well, we were standing in line for the autograph, and we asked, just like, we have several people back home that couldn't come. Can we get more than one? He says, you're paying for them. You can have as many as you want. I was like, all right, that's because I got 5. So we got one of them. Well, then not everybody had instructions on what kind of photo they wanted or this. And some of the photos that people said, oh yeah, I want this one, that he didn't have on the table. So we were kind of hemming and hawing. I think by the time we got the 5th one signed, he was kind of like, yeah, I'm done with you people. You can move along now because you're holding up my line.
Well, we're sitting there trying to figure out pictures of who to what picture to get who. And, I mean, you're standing in front of Colin Baker for crying out loud.
It's a little intimidating.
It was quite intimidating.
You're like, your hands are shaking, you're nervous. It's a Colin Baker. Sign this.
Please and thank you.
Yes.
So then we walked away, and she goes, aren't you going to ask? I was like, no. I'll come back tomorrow when he's not busy. Which is what we did, and he's great. And at no point in time did I really feel like we aggravated him. He was just a delight.
No, I don't think you could have aggravated him. He is just so calm, cool, collected, and just an well-rounded person. Well, I didn't mean it like that.
He'll be the first to admit he's well-rounded.
Comment about New Who villains that. Somebody asked if he could fight any New Who villain, who would it have been? And he says, I feel like I've been fighting the adipose. They won't leave me alone.
He says they're fighting. They're just sitting here. They won't leave me alone.
They won't leave.
I will say, seeing pictures of him at Galley, I thought he looked a lot thinner this time.
He's lost a lot of weight, I think, from the 5-ish Doctors, even.
Well, just the last several things I've seen him in, he looks great.
Yeah. We actually went back and watched the 5-ish Doctors because you're at Galley with Colin Baker, and they talked about and they talked about the 5-ish Doctors, and so that night after that panel, we went back and watched it, and you could tell definitely he's lost a lot of weight from the 5-ish Doctors.
And that was one of the big questions that everybody wanted answered is, okay, so the 5-ish Doctors go along, and you get to the thing, and you 3 are under the shrouds. Is that really you guys in the 50th? And Colin, this is one of those things I honestly don't believe we will ever definitively know the true answer. Colin is more than happy to play up the fact that it is actually them under the shrouds in the episode. Not in the Five-ish Doctors,
Right.
but in that
the
shot
actual episode
that they
proper.
are actually there. And he says if you go back and look, he says you can tell that Sylvester's got his hat on under the shroud because of the way it's shaped. Take that with a grain of salt, however you want to do it. Me? I 100% believe that all the doctors were in the episode as I predicted. And I have Colin Baker to claim it.
That is the first thing I saw when that panel when he got done answering that panel. His Twitter just lit up with Colin's confirmed it. It's actually in the 50th.
Well,
That's
he
them
had
under
the
the
biggest grin on his face, like
Oh, he
that
did.
cat that
He-
swallowed all the canaries, not just one, all 12 canaries.
So you heard it here. I claimed it. I said all the surviving doctors are going to be in the 50th, and you didn't believe me, and I have proof now. Colin Baker himself said yes.
All right. Wait,
Also-
Chris wasn't.
So we're lumping the Night of the Doctor in as the part of the 50th?
Yeah,
Which shroud was Chris under?
he wasn't.
Not all of
He
the
was the
actors.
dust.
Yeah.
They're all in there. Video clip.
Well, I already conceded
Yeah, I
that.
know. I know. Also a sweetheart was Katie Manning.
She loved giving hugs and kisses.
Hugs and kisses. Everybody got hugs and kisses, leaning over the tables. And
Katie kissed you?
Yes.
Yes. Get out.
I got one on the cheek.
Oh,
I haven't watched it yet.
that's awesome.
She's just really...
Her handler was not thrilled with her kissing and hugging on
Kiss from
everybody.
Katie.
You should have come. But yeah, she was awesome. And
I don't think I'd have washed that cheek for a while.
I honestly haven't. My hair's a little messed up too. But yeah, she was just. Katie tells very long stories. Katie rambles. Katie's kind of the St. Olaf of the Doctor Who family. What was her name? Was it Rose? She's kind of the Rose of the Doctor Who family because she's always going off on, well, back in St. Olaf we did this. And everybody on stage is like, why did we give her a microphone?
Frasier at one point took the microphone and said no. And then someone asked a question and she was supposed to give a response and Frasier looked at her like, and he held up the microphone, here, talk. I'll hold it.
I get the feeling that Frasier's kind of the Cantanker's older brother of the group, that he's more than content to pick on everybody, that it doesn't matter.
I kind of got that from the companion panel they did last year.
Yeah. I mean, he and Deborah have a great back and forth kind of relationship, but he's more, you're in the crosshairs? All right, bring it on. He's just going to go after everybody.
Right.
And when they were, during the Sixth Doctor's era panel, he was up there, and he kind of kept going on and on and on about how much fun that he and Pat had coming back, and that he and Colin had coming back. And Nicole was kind of sitting there waiting expectantly. And he says, yeah, and we just had so much fun together, and me, Colin, and Pat went off and did this, me, Colin, and Pat went off and did that, me, Colin, and Pat, blah, blah, blah. And she's just getting more and more crestfallen that he has not mentioned her at all yet. To the point where she starts crying. "Ah!" And he's like, what? Just not even going to play along with her. And Colin's petting her on the shoulder, and she's sobbing into his chest, and then she gets up and moves to the other side of the couch so that she doesn't have to sit next to
Colin turns his
Frasier.
back towards him and protects Nicola from looking at him.
Frasier, by the way, Chrissy, says hi. I did that backwards. Chrissy, Frasier, by the way, says hi.
I was going to say, Frasier
Frasier? Is Frasier listening?
Chrissy says,
Well, we told Frasier
good
that.
job.
Yeah.
We told Frasier, it was like, you don't remember her, but she grabbed your leg last year, and apparently it was a big deal. So his eyes kind of lit up like, oh, yeah, I remember that one.
What was the Michelle Frasier story that you guys didn't get to? That Chrissy called
Are
us
you not allowed
out
to
on.
say?
It's not that I'm not allowed to say. I kind of feel like I threw Michelle under the bus enough as it was that I don't want to poke the bear with a stick now that she's not here to defend herself. She was very adamant that she was getting all of the companions' autographs. That was her goal for this trip, and she'd already gotten Colin at Fan Expo, and she had to get Paul, but she wanted all the companions. Like, okay, good. And then we came back. It was like, did you get them all? She goes, yeah, I did. And then the next day it was like, I have to go visit Frasier, and she ran off, and we went. There may have been a slight memory slip, but it was after the panel when he was very, yeah. And she'll write in next week and go, that's not what happened, and she'll correct me because I don't know where she's from either. So She may have forgotten a companion. So it's like, Chris.
Have you heard? Did she get back to Vancouver okay?
She did get back to Vancouver okay. She texted me.
We told her that she.
No, she didn't get back to Vancouver okay.
Oh, go here. Punch you. You'd probably hear it, or else I would.
I'm having so much fun with this.
I even fell for it.
I never, ever, ever got confirmation of her landing in Vancouver.
Okay.
So I'm actually a little concerned at this point.
We don't know if she's alive.
Yes, she landed back
That is so
home
wrong.
in Quebec.
That is so wrong.
Or Ontario. Quebec. She's in Canada.
She's a Canadian.
Speaking Canadian.
She's speaking Canadian. Based on the pictures,
Canadian?
based on the pictures of her backyard, I imagine it's probably moose and snowmen up there. It's pretty much all there is.
Sorry. I didn't mean to derail you there. I just had to.
Okay, before we get off of Colin Baker, or no, Katie Manning, before we get off of her, I wanted to mention that Sadie, the little girl that we met, and Cindy.
Cindy and Sadie at the poolside.
Cindy and Sadie at the poolside, yeah. One of the...
Sounds like a TV show.
Cindy and
Cindy
Sadie.
and Sadie at the poolside.
Coming up on the Disney Channel.
Hey, there you go. Well, yeah, it actually
Copyright,
was.
See in a Circle, 2014, Traveling the Vortex. We'll hammer that later.
We were talking one of the nights in the hot tub afterwards, after the day at the con, our nightly hot tub visit, and we were talking with Cindy and Sadie, and they were mentioning the fact that they wanted to go and, I can't remember if she wanted to get her autograph or if she wanted to get a hug. I can't remember. I was like...
She said autograph, and then she said, well, I'd really like a hug. And Cindy was kind of like, I don't think that's going to happen. We were like...
Trust me. That's what... They had already gotten her autograph, I think, is what it was.
That's what it was, yeah.
And yeah, they had already gotten her autograph. And Katie was a little shocked because Cindy is still new at the Who thing. Sadie is well-versed at the Who thing.
And Sadie's the 8-year-old. Keep that in mind.
The 6-year-old.
Or the 6-year-old, pardon me.
Yeah, so when when they went up there to get the autograph, Katie's looking at Cindy, the adult, like, blah, blah, and she's like, no, her. So Katie was like, wow. And she's like, but we didn't get a hug when we got the autograph. I'm like, just go. Katie's not going to have a problem squeezing you. You go through and tell her that you got her autograph yesterday, but you just really want a hug. Katie will give you a hug.
Did you hear back from her? Good.
Cindy came back and told me, she goes, you were right. Katie gave me a hug and gave Sadie a hug. It was awesome. That's how cool Katie is. She's just really lovable.
I think she's the one I wish the most out of everybody that I would have met.
Now, I understand that several hugs were given to people who maybe later regretted getting hugs from Billie Piper.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. Because Billie was sick.
She was sick, yeah.
She was sick.
And she came anyway, which my admiration for Billie Piper just skyrocketed after hearing that she had to bow out because she had the flu. Legitimate reason. I completely understand that. And then to turn around and go ahead and get on the plane anyway, that was incredible. Now, she did probably come in fact a bunch of people at the con, but that's really cool that she has that much respect for the fans that she did it.
And Sean talked about it at
and it's not like she needs the money. I mean, she's doing projects now. So
Sean talked about it at Glorious, the ups and downs of putting the con together. And he says this week alone, he says, when I got the call on Wednesday that we lost Billie, he said, just thunderstorm and everything's defaulted. Just, oh my God, now what? And that she decided, screw it, I'm going to come anyway. So then he joked that, all right, all 3,200 of you are going to be infected by the time this weekend's over. And immediately the tweets started. I would be thrilled to be infected
I saw
by
that.
Billie Piper.
And we saw that some people actually have been, they're actually calling it the Billie Piper crud or something, trying not to hack my lung up, but it was worth it.
The Piper crud.
The Piper cred. And she was very cool and very very giving to the fans, I thought. Yes, very, very, very wonderful person. Kind of, sort of got a Mark Shepard vibe off of her. Not a lot, but
by watching her in some of the panels,
some of the panel interactions and some of the different things that she does. And again, maybe this can be purely chalked up to the fact that she wasn't feeling good. because I'm sure she's a nice person. You know, I mean, I in no way stretch am I comparing
You're
her
not saying
to.
Mark Shepard's not nice either.
No, but Mark Shepard has that. We talked
He's
about it
got a
last
bit of
year
an
where
ego.
He's got an ego, and I kind of
Not
think
Eric Roberts' ego.
no. That's this ego.
At least
versus,
Shepard showed up to his panels.
Yeah.
And wowed everybody apparently.
Well, it's because he knows.
He knows what to do.
He knows what to
Yeah.
do. But yeah, just kind of got a little bit of a Mark Shepard vibe off of her, and that and the $45 that she was charging for autographs kind of put. We decided at that point that, I'm okay at this point without having one of those.
She's doing other U.S. cons too, so I don't think she's going to be your only opportunity.
Yeah, no, and maybe down the road, I'll change my mind on it. But even coming out of the panel that we sat in, where it was just her, Mel and I kind of looked at each other and we kind of confirmed at that point. It's like, we're good. We didn't feel like we needed that one. Versus Katie and Colin and all these other people was like, I must have autographs of these people.
Right.
Well, and then Rory to have Rory follow her up was okay. Now we got to go talk to Rory, and he's like, Arthur, quit calling me Rory.
He did. He came up on stage and he's like, hi. And somebody in the back shouts, we love you, Rory. He goes, Arthur.
I wonder how often he gets it. Probably constantly.
Probably a lot.
Sure.
Yeah, he's really good mannered about it though, because he would just stop.
You
And
have to be. Yeah.
well, and if you look at any of the pictures when Sean gets them posted of Rory, of Arthur, you'll see. Whoop, there goes Dr. Legacy.
Speaking of pictures, if it's anything like his Hawaii pictures, which we just got, and he came back in September from Hawaii.
I'll have them up before that.
Yeah.
I'll have them up before next year's galley for sure.
If you look at the pictures of Arthur, he's got this shirt on of a three-eyed cat. And I don't know what possessed the person to ask, but apparently they had attended or viewed all of Arthur's panels. And so the question when they got up there to the microphone is, I've noticed over the last 3 days you've worn a cat t-shirt every day. Is there a reason why? And Arthur stops, looks at his shirt, he goes, just happens to be what I grabbed. I love cats.
It's just what I packed.
He says, I didn't notice that. Thank you for pointing that out. You know?
For real?
Yes. He just...
Oh my gosh! I just thought it was like, okay, this is my thing. I wear cats.
No.
Nope.
Just
He just happened to pack
Just
3
happened
cat
to be-
shirts. He had no idea.
not just cat shirts, strange and unusual
Strange
cat
and-
shirts.
Yeah.
Is he as
Oh,
hipster as
right.
I think he is?
He is awesome.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'll tell you-
Awesome hipster, but
Awesome
hipster.
hipster.
I'll tell you, I've seen him a lot more hipster than I saw in pictures of him from this con. So I was quite surprised that he was actually kind of tamed down.
Yeah.
A bit, you know.
Because at San Diego, he was very, very
Well, him and
hipster.
Matt both were.
Him, Matt, and Karen, all three of them.
Yeah.
Which apparently he let slip to Karen's in L.A. now that she's moved out there because apparently...
Well, Go ahead.
she's in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Well, yeah, but she also has a pilot.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
going to be in a CW or CBS, some comedy.
Oh.
I can't remember which
I don't
network it is
remember
now.
what network it was either.
But
It's been greenlit.
Yeah.
the guy interviewing asked, he says, so, how was your night? He says, oh, it was really good. He says, I went out for sushi with Karen last night. It's like, and you didn't bring her back?
Bad Arthur.
She lives in L.A. You're in L.A. You couldn't have said, hey, come
I think
to
it's
the-
awesome that they just
Come to the
had dinner
thing.
together.
You know?
Yeah.
Oh, well.
It was probably one of those situations like the year that, like, not last year, but 2 years ago when Mickey, what's his
Oh, and
I just went
Noel
to the
Clark,
thing.
Noel Clark
showed up to take
Jackie.
Jackie.
Jackie to dinner.
All the names of it.
And came to the front desk, and
Camille.
and David Huey of the Who on Who podcast saw him, went over, said, okay, you're probably not officially here, so I'll be really quiet if you let me get a picture with you. And he did. And David Huey was the only one
I remember that
who
picture,
got
yeah.
a picture with Noel Clark at the Gallifrey Con 2 years ago. So anyway, so yeah, I mean, maybe that's the idea. Maybe when these guys come in, we should just really kind of check the front counter quite frequently.
Yeah.
Just hang out at the
Well, I don't know. I want to enjoy the convention.
Aren't you going on
but-
the convention? No, I'm away right here. The big surprise is coming, trust me.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, Arthur Darvill, stark raving bonkers And I mean that in the nicest way possible. He is
He's as
such
random
a
as traveling the vortex.
yeah. Just
Yes.
listening to them talk and on and on and on about we should probably get back on track. We should probably try and do this. We should probably talk some Who now. Didn't happen, and it didn't matter. He was so enjoyable. He talked about apparently he has a love of taxidermy because and his defense of that was. He has a room in his house that he's refurbishing, and he's trying to make it a proper gentleman's English study. That's what he wants. He wants the paneling and the books.
Probably
and
for the irony of it.
stuffed animals. Around the
Taxidermy stuffed animals, not like cute,
not teddy bears and
not
unicorns.
teddy bears.
Sorry,
and unicorns.
Aww.
yeah.
I don't know. You could probably taxidermy a unicorn.
So
It's taxidermy. You can create one.
he's attempting to describe this. And I've got a globe, and I've got this, and I've got this, and he's trying to think of a different word than dead animals. But you can tell that he's not going to get there, and he's just. And at that point, the rest of the crowd kind of chimed in with him. Dead animals, and he said it. Dead animals. They're scattered around the room, and apparently that's just a really big thing with him. He's really fascinated by it.
And he's got 2 owls.
He has 2 owls.
2 dead stuffed owls, and Margie and.
They gave their names.
He's got names
Well,
for
you
them.
do.
Yeah, I didn't know you named taxidermy animals.
They're just like real pets, Sean. Rudy. Perfect example.
Rowdy.
Sorry, Rowdy.
Rudy.
I was very close. Rowdy.
He talked about his cat, who apparently is being picked on by another cat in the neighborhood. The cat apparently did a run by. He asked, what was it called? Are the cat flaps?
doors?
He says, are they cat flaps over here? And people went, yeah, okay. So he says, we were sitting in the living room. He said, all of a sudden the cat flap opened, and the neighborhood cat darted in, attacked our cat, went, ah! And then ran out. We were like, yeah, just, the life and times of Arthur Darvill, man.
Yeah.
It was great.
I played back the side trip for Sarah. The bit where you relayed his message, and she squeaked a little bit.
And was she nodding her head when we described exactly what happened?
Probably a good thing I didn't go.
He's just really cool. Just really fun to listen to. Like Paul McGann, you could listen to him talk all day about nothing, and it would be awesome.
Yeah.
Also awesome, Deborah Watling. I did not get to
I didn't realize Deborah was back this year.
Yeah, well, they brought her back because of the
I did
Web of
know that
Fear.
because I said if I'd gone back, I could go actually talk to her longer because I didn't get a chance last time. I did know that. Yeah.
And I didn't really interact with her much last year when you were there. You were kind of the ambassador on that front that you got to talk to her. And I felt really bad. And I told Mel, I was like, I've got to seek out Deborah and talk to her because she seemed like such a nice, and she was kind of feeling under the weather last year. She was great. Every panel that we saw her in, she was just a delight and funny and just kind of this sweet, I don't know, elderly aunt kind of vibe.
She's just trying to keep the rest of them in line too.
Yeah, not quite the school marm, but Frasier especially. I don't know how she puts
Because
up with
Frasier
him.
always ended up sitting by her, so she was always looking at Frasier, and she's, I'll be the short and sweet one compared to them.
But we bumped into her at poolside after, I think it was right after the hospitality suite that we were.
Yeah, we were outside
there.
by the pool shoving cookies in her face.
And she happened to come out, and Mel was like, "Oh, hey, thank you so much for coming." And she just kind of, I'm thrilled to be here and everything. And she just kind of sighed for a minute. She says, "I just needed some sunshine, because I've been indoors all day." She says, "I just needed, this. Go enjoy your sunshine." And she went and sat down by the pool and was unmolested for 10 minutes, and it was kind of awesome. But just those little quiet moments. That's what Galley's all about: is bumping into somebody poolside. Because you don't get that at WizardCon.
Or out on the smoking patio, because that's where I kept running into Michael Jackson.
Or in the bathroom.
Or the bathroom. Which is the other place I got running into
That was
Michael
a pretty
Jackson.
quiet moment, though.
Yeah, we didn't do much talking as we were standing at the urinal side by side.
I was going to say probably a bit quieter, or not as quiet as Michael Jackson wanted.
Because in my head, I picture them standing there, and Glenn goes, "So, come here often?"
Well, I did tell him we could run into each other here.
Matthew Waterhouse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's your gold
So
star.
meeting Adric did not boost your love for him.
Did not boost my love for the
You were
character.
hoping that the stage would crash into a planet and kill the dinosaurs.
I wasn't wrong in my Friday Night Who post of
You
you
were-
cheering on Adric's death.
I really tried to go into it with an open mind. I really tried to go, it's not his fault. Hello?
Wow. We've
That
never,
rang my
never
ears.
gotten feedback. That was weird.
Weird.
Okay.
Feedback.
Oh!
We had some feedback. Just you gotta go through the whole thing. You can't feed me a line of "Come Sail Away" and not expect me not to sing the whole thing. But don't start with me. But yeah, it just he very much kind of gave that whole vibe of didn't want to be there, didn't really care. Here's my thing, sign it. Impersonal. Just kind of not Eric Roberts, but just. Yeah, it was kind of just unfortunate, and I really thought, because I know that he knows that he's got that kind of persona, that he had a difficult time on the show, and I know that he
didn't have a difficult time on the show. He had a difficult time after the show.
Well, he had a difficult time on the show too.
Well,
Really.
yeah, I guess so.
But
Fandom was not that kind.
and
to him
fandom wasn't
after he
kind
left.
to him, and so I know.
So I can understand why he's a little guarded.
But I understand that he hasn't been at a galley in a while. And it's like, okay, so now he's come to a galley. I don't know what he was expecting. I don't know really what I was expecting, but it wasn't standoffish.
Well, he was even like that when they were all up on the stage together at the closing ceremonies, and he literally just passed them like, yeah, they said everything and passed it on.
Yeah. Yeah.
He didn't
Just
have anything
kinda
to
meh.
add. He just, yeah, that's it.
Which was unfortunate. I really wanted to.
Like him more.
Yeah, I really did. We got to talk. Obviously, you guys heard the Legacy interview,
Yep.
and
Wonderful interview, Sean.
Yes,
Wonderful
good.
interview.
well, it's easy when your subject is as enthused about
Well,
what's going on as you are.
You could tell that you both were excited.
And you were
about
really
it.
exciting him about all
Well,
of it.
you talked 100 miles a minute. Both of you did. Well, this is so good. Yeah, this is what we did. This is what we did. Yes,
And we're going to do this.
what a great idea. Yeah, Merker, we'll do it.
It'll be the reverse of what other people do. I bumped into somebody. We had several people like, they saw the ribbon. Oh, you're traveling the Vortex, or saw my jersey. You're Vortex, Sean. I follow you on Twitter. It's like, oh, why? I'm still flabbergasted by that. And God bless her, I had a woman tell me, she goes, oh, I listen to you guys. I have to put it at twice speed so I can get through it a little faster.
She
She honestly said that?
Hold on, there's more though. She said something else too afterwards, which this is where I died laughing.
It's awesome that you met a listener.
She goes, okay, I have to put you at 2 times the speed because I found you sound like chipmunks if I put you at 3 times the speed. And the thought of you guys sounded like chipmunks and talking Doctor Who just killed me.
Did you catch her name?
I didn't catch your name.
We were laughing so hard.
Yeah.
It just like everything escaped from your head after you think of chipmunks talking Doctor Who, you know?
That's
So if we
another,
talk like this, and it really makes sense.
in my mind, that's another candidate for next year's ribbon. The podcast you listen to at twice speed. So, yeah.
Any faster than 2 times, and you sound like chipmunks. Apparently, though.
The only podcast that you listen to at 2 times the speed, because if you went to 3 times, you'd sound like chipmunks. Okay.
But the Legacy was really awesome, and I mean, I felt kind of bad in a way that because he's like, yeah, come over here and sit down. So I'm sitting behind the table, in the hallway, and Mel's kind of standing guard over the stuff and making sure that you can take a card because he's busy, and then. Just at random, I would stop and go, "Yo, you come back here and get a card. Don't take that and walk. Don't just look at it and walk off. Come back. Are you playing this game?" And I kind of felt like we were pimping it maybe harder than he was. And he didn't care. He would just sit back and let us work. And he commented, he said, "I'm gonna let you guys run the like for a stack of codes, I could be persuaded to take time out of my galley schedule for that." But yeah, the Legacy group was great. As usual, all of the little kind of ancillary things that they had going on. The TARDIS console room, I feel we got gypped.
We never got to see it.
We never got to see it. because they're doing the photos and stuff in the console room now, and they've added a bunch of pieces. I don't know if you've seen any of Brian or Paul's stuff that it's not now. The console is still the console, but they've built a monitor that hangs down, and it's got the graphic.
I'd heard him talking about what was that he'd been working on. I haven't seen any of it.
So they've got a monitor now that hangs down. It looks like a big wooden box with a TV set on it. They've got a section of girder that kind of goes up on one side, and then they've got this really cool kind of gray, smoky black backdrop that in one side you can see there's I don't know, a statue or a lamp or something. One of those things that you go, oh, that's from the set, but it's just kind of blurred out just enough that it kind of gives it that illusion of depth if you were to stand in front of it and take a picture with it. And so Brian, the guy who did all the electrical work on it, says, guys, you got to come down and see. I was like, okay, we will. Man, every time we went down there, they were packed with people paying to get photos of the console and doing this, or we can't do it now because Paul and Daphne are coming to do their promotional stuff.
There are a lot, from what I understand.
And
Paul and Daphne.
I mean, don't get me wrong. They're making their money off this in order to continue to invest in the console. I have no problem with that. But maybe not. Maybe it was just the timing. It felt like there wasn't any opportunity for just fans to walk into the room and look at it unless you paid for the photo. Because every time we were there was a line for photos and paying customers. And again, I support them in that. I gave them enough money. But I just felt kind of like, man, I didn't really get to see the console this year, and that's my thing. I love that console. Right. It's been there as long as I have, and I was really excited about it. And I didn't get to see it this year. Kind of the same thing that I forget her name, but the woman in the cowboy hat who's part of Galley.
It's Tara.
Tara.
Not TARDIS Tara, but the one that's actually on the con. She was up there with Sean for Glorious and talking about how she was fine to let somebody else handle it because she doesn't like getting up in public and that kind of stuff. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about now. She made the comment that
her
at
and Sean started it, and I can't remember her name right now.
Yeah, I can't remember her name now. But she made the comment that they got the TARDIS that's on stage was actually built for them and loaned to them for purposes of the con. And she made the comment. She says, I get every year we go through this, and she says I get a little nervous, I get a little apprehensive until my TARDIS shows up. And she says, oh, it's our TARDIS. Really, it's this guy's TARDIS because he built it. It's his. He owns it. He loans it to us. But I'm possessive because once it arrives, it's my TARDIS, and now it's Galley. And it's like, that's it. And that's why when we're down there Thursday night, I have to sneak downstairs and go look in the big room. Because it's not Galley for me until I see it. I have to see after that first time. It was like, yeah, it's not Galley until I see the TARDIS show up. Mm-hmm. And then once it's there, and they've got the floodlights on and the ethereal blue, and it's all lit up, it's like, okay, down.
And then, now going from that.
No, we don't talk about the other.
No, this is good.
Okay.
One of the things that Sean said that they should do more often, and they don't do, is when guests come up on the stage, they come up from behind the TARDIS and sit down on the couch.
Well, I've seen them come out of the TARDIS.
Every now and then they'll come out.
Every now and then they come.
They should always come out of the TARDIS.
Yeah, and that's what Sean said. They should always come out of the TARDIS.
It should be a requirement that you are a Galley. We're going to interview you. You come out this door.
Yeah,
that's contractually written.
I think Nicola, though, she left it open, so it's like, well, that kind of loses the magic if you leave the door open.
The phone rang at one point in time during the con.
There's a phone on the TARDIS?
Yeah, there's actually a phone on it. And the kid stops and he's like...
and
someone's waving at him like, yeah, go for it. And he's like, I should answer this?
I don't have any idea if it was for a skit that they did, that they wired up a sound effect for it or what. But literally in the middle of this interview, the phone went ring, and everybody went... just turned to the TARDIS like, what's the deal with that? A few Galley goofs, not huge, especially that first day, and the big one was the Froggy's Photos line. Getting you started in this line, and this is the line that's you have already queued up for Colin. This is the line that's getting ready to queue up for whoever was next. And then at some point they wound up doing this on purpose. That didn't work. And then, okay, well, you only need to be in this line if you haven't purchased tickets yet for Colin. You need to be in this line. And It was just kind of a mess, and we're holding up our thing. Like, we've already paid, we've already printed, I have this.
Ticket.
Who do I...
At one point, they were saying, even if you have your ticket printed, you got to switch it in for a card. I'm like, why?
Yeah.
We've printed our ticket, and then...
So they shuffled everybody in these, like, 3 different lines together into one long line. And then after we got a little bit into the thing, they came back and said, okay, never mind. If you have your pre-printed ticket, we want you over here. If you do this... So we didn't intentionally do it. But I think we wound up line jumping a little bit just in the confusion of that, trying to get everything sorted. We kind of got squeezed up a little bit into our thing. Now, here's the thing, though. That was fixed within an hour. The next group of people, they didn't have to go through that. The next group, the next day, all that was fixed.
That's a good call on if you've got a gaff and then you figure it out.
Yep.
Right away.
Immediately.
Yeah. The autograph lines were well done.
And we were a little concerned with the way they had them laid out in the dealer's room, because most of the autographs were in the dealer's room.
Everybody was in the dealer's room this year. There was not a separate room. You didn't get the separate ticket with you have to show
Hole
this, and
punch
we'll
it
hole
in.
punch it when you go to get your such and such. It's in the
They
dealer's
didn't do
room.
that last year either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 years ago they did it.
Yeah, it was,
Oh, you're right,
two
yeah.
years ago. Last year was fine.
Yeah, it was 2 years ago.
They were in the dealer's room.
Everybody was in the dealer's room.
They weren't organized in that back area like they were this year, because maybe they had some of them spread out.
Well, they were spread out too this year.
Were they? Okay.
The autograph alley was mainly like the authors, like Paul Cornell and some of those people were down there. But Billy and Arthur were right up front by the doors, right across from each other, but they had separate lines.
Okay.
And so you would walk,
makes
you
sense.
get in this line and go through and get hers. And the only thing that sucked is that once you were in the dealer's room, because of how they had all these entrance lines to get in to where the autographs were set up,
You had to go out one door.
tough.
there was one out, and then you had to come loop all the way back around to get in the next line to go in, get it stuck in the dealer's room, and had to exit out. But even by the third day of the con, they'd kind of given up on that. So it was very much like a celebration that any of the hiccups that came, they were ironing out as things went, and they fixed them all.
Well,
so
even
my
if-
hat's off to the staff once again
Even
for
by
managing
going
to
out
get
that
through
one
that.
door out of the dealer's room, it focused you, or it kind of funneled you down the hallway where all the other dealers were legacy, and so I don't know how we missed them the first day, but
Over and over and
over and
over.
over and over again. But it funneled you through that hallway and gave you an opportunity to visit those tables that you probably would never normally go down. But
So yeah, once again, my hat's off to everybody involved at Galley who just put together a phenomenal experience and made it work and continued to refine it as the weekend went on to make it better as time went on. Once again, the dealer's room, I kind of felt like, it's a dealer's room. They've got stuff.
But it's a dealer's
They
room.
haven't come out with a whole lot of new merchandise lately.
Yeah.
So, and they got the
Which you would have thought that there would have been a ton
You would have
between
thought,
last
yeah.
year because of the 50th. Yeah.
But we did
yay!
got the last
Vinyl
figure we needed. We got a Patrick Troughton. And what was funny is it was, I don't know, Saturday afternoon or something, on one of
we
our
didn't even-
many trips through there, because of the autographs, lines, everything like that. We were just standing there, and all of a sudden we went,
What'd you pay for it, though?
15.
Oh, okay.
Didn't care.
No, that's still not too bad.
No.
Because we were
only-
like,
It's double. It's twice the cost.
yeah.
double. Yeah.
And we were like, what, do they have any? And Mel's like, they probably don't have any.
Especially since that's a really rare one.
So we went running up to the thing, and he's got a box. And we're like, you've got these. And he goes, yeah. He goes, do you have any of these open? And he goes, what, you mean like these? And he's got this whole table, and they're all baggied. And we went, Troughton, buy. No. How much? 15. Don't care. Give it. So we got our Troughton.
We have all the doctors.
We have the whole line of the doctors now. And we don't have some of the variants.
But
I've opened enough of these at work that I'm not going to go down that road anymore.
No.
So we were very, very excited about that. And then, the big news, the highlight of the entire con, the two doctors panel. Colin and Paul on stage together.
Awesome.
That's all you could describe it as.
And once again, like I said, Colin being the awesome man, I can't think of another word. I'm just still so dumbfounded, man that he is. He just, hey, we're here for you. So do you guys take the floor instantly? They didn't even pose any questions for each other or anything. They just said, we're here for you, so ask away.
I got to ask, because I saw an interview where Paul was sitting next to Colin. This wasn't from this convention. This was prior to convention. Somebody was interviewing him about Night of the Doctor. Did he happen to
chide Colin again that so far Colin hasn't gotten a regeneration scene, but now Paul has.
He did. He didn't bring it up.
Because he did that. He brought that up in an interview, and I thought, oh, you could have so much fun with that. Hey, Colin, I got a regeneration scene.
There were several little moments peppered throughout the weekend about the 50th, and one of them we talked about, which was sitting in the panel with Paul, and they went, career and this and blah, 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 and then about the halfway point, they watched Night of the Doctor, and he hadn't seen it yet.
Yeah.
And so we got to watch Paul McGann watch Night of the Doctor for the first time, and he was dumbfounded. He was just so flabbergasted at how...
Wow, that was good.
Yeah, how well
really
it
good.
turned out, and just the excitement and the love for it and everything. And they mentioned apparently Jason Hay-Ellery had commented that when they were bringing people in and starting Big Finish 15 years ago, one of the people they brought in was Stephen Moffat. And Stephen Moffat said, "Do you have Paul McGann yet?" And they said, "Well, no, we're still negotiating his contract." And he says, "I'm not writing anything unless it's for Paul." And he left.
Wow.
And he was just like, he wanted to write the Eighth Doctor and hadn't got that.
Wow.
So that's
And now
how
he finally did.
Moffat, I love you.
There was a squeam, yes.
Yeah, I just, that it was that cool about it. But the two of them together have this rapport that
Chemistry
is...
that's amazing. They just bounce back and forth off of each other. Yes.
It was just unreal. And then the triple showed up. I don't even remember why.
It was this. They were, like I said, they opened it up for questions for people immediately, and this girl walked up, young lady, early 20s, walked up and I can't remember what she was cosplaying as, but she says some people think I'm cosplaying as this, but I'm not, or whatever. Well, she walks up and she says, "Colin, here," and she throws this furry thing at him, and he's like, "What is this?" And he says, she says, "Well, you have to turn it on." And he's like, "I don't know if I can do that here or not." And he starts stroking it. He's like, "Oh, you have the most beautiful eyes, and your hair is so soft. And, is this working?"
He's trying to turn it on.
Trying to turn it on.
Paul is dying on the other. I mean, he's Paul's very relaxed. He's just dying. Colin's trying to turn this thing on. Your hair looks exceptionally wonderful tonight. And then he stops and he looks at it. He goes, "It's not working." It's the same reaction I get at home.
And everybody in the audience is dying.
So
It's
we're
just-
all dying, and then he goes, "I think it's dead." And Paul, without missing a beat, goes, "Maybe it needs a triple bypass."
It was awesome.
So he throws it back to her, and she fiddles with it and flips the little on switch on and tosses it back up. And now the triple is purring and vibrating. It's one of those. And Colin's like,
Wow.
and he puts it on his neck, and his eyes roll back in his head.
And Paul's looking at him like, "Are you all right? I mean, what is it doing? Is it making noises? Is it moving? What is it doing?"
He's trying to get the microphone up to it. It's chirping and everything like this. And Paul's going, "Is it vibrating?" He goes, "Do you want to feel it?" Yeah, they went there. So he throws it to Paul. Paul's got it. He puts it on his neck and goes, They spent 15 minutes playing with this tribble on stage, and fandom exploded. If you've seen the tweet stream sets, and pictures and video, just on and on and
And
on.
Colin's like, "Well, you gonna give it back?" So he gives it back.
Yeah, well, Colin asked for it back, and then the woman's like, "Can I have that toy back?" And he's like,
"Oh, you're not gonna give it to me?" I'm like, at that point, I would have been like, "Okay, you can have it."
I mean, don't get me wrong. I would love to have a tribble that had been molested by both Colin and Paul. But if you throw that up on stage, at some point you have to realize you're not getting it back. You have offered it up to the gods now.
Yeah, exactly.
It's gone.
It's gone.
The cojones on this woman for asking for it back. So, here's the sad part of the story. The most entertaining hour of all of Galley, I have no video of.
Aww.
Because my technical gaffe is when I emptied my bag and repacked it. I took all my school stuff out and put all my galley stuff in. I took out my SD card reader.
Apparently that's not galley equipment.
And I never bothered to load my camera software on my computer because, well, I have an SD card reader. Why would I want to mess with that? I'll just pop this in and do that. And it wasn't until we'd taken all these photos and all this video that I realized the card's full and I can't get it off.
Get it off of there.
Because my computer doesn't recognize the camera without that little chunk of software.
But we did get Billy Piper's interview.
You could have run down around, I think it was a CVS or something around the corner. You probably could have bought a card reader for $5.
I couldn't think of where one was.
Yeah.
I was upstairs trying
I saw it, and I'll tell you, I can't remember exactly where it is. We might have saw it on our Surrey trip.
So who knows where that was?
And you didn't have Surrey with you to get you there, so that wouldn't help. I saw a little drugstore somewhere.
I think it might be on the other side. Now that you've said that,
it was on our trip down to Denny's.
Yeah.
Yes, you're right.
Oh, see, that was totally the opposite direction of our hotel, and we didn't go down that direction at all this time.
Okay.
And that's the weird thing is we totally never crossed over the other side. We were back and forth from the Renaissance and Burger King and the Subway, but we never went the other direction this time out. But yeah, so I was up there frantically trying to offload bits and pieces of these videos and hoping beyond hope that it would work well enough to.
Through iPhotos.
You know, I had another card in my other camera, and I pulled it out. Of course, it's only a 4-speed, not a 10-speed. Doesn't do video. I'm like, and I didn't have it. And it's like, well, we'll record what we can, and we got like 4 seconds of it. They walked up and said, "Hi," and the camera went full. I was like, no.
But we got the audio.
We do have audio. Mel has a big file on her phone. So you won't be able to see all the joy.
I told Sean, I said, what you're going to have to do is the 4 seconds or 4 bits or whatever we got of them on stage, that'll just be a static image. and you'll hear them talk. Yeah. Now, of course, when you'll know when the tribble comes up because you won't be able to hear them at all. You'll just hear the audience roaring with laughter. But now you'll know why they're roaring with laughter.
Yeah, it was so funny,
cool,
and just an absolute riot. Everything else was on. I mean, you know, Brent Spiner showed up.
Yeah. Yeah, you talked a little bit about that.
Brent Spiner's going to be here. All right. Ian Fraser. I have to talk about him.
Yes.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
So she had them. Deborah Watling had them. Colin had them.
Matthew, I think, had some.
And Nicole had some. And Fraser Hines had some. Mm-hmm. New photos out on their tables. And from what I've been able to tell, they're all this guy. Ian Fraser. Yeah. And there's some sort of awesome composite
of the
it's nice because it's copyright their image and Ian's art. That's neat.
where he's put the scene together. So the one we've got of Deborah is from Web of Fear, and it's her, because I was totally going to go with the Victorian dress, the black and white. Right. That's the one I want. But I still look at my Fraser autograph and kind of go, it's not really the one I wanted because it's the black and white photo, but it's the black and white photo of him from the Five Doctors, so it doesn't look right. He had one on his table that's the image of, is in the center, is him and Troughton holding each other in fear with all of the different monsters surrounding them. It was cool. And I was like, I'm ready to buy another autograph just to have that photo. All of his stuff was really, really, really well done. And so hats off to that guy for putting them together because they just looked great. And then the cosplay was really, really good this year. Last year was all Amy. Everywhere you looked, it was Amy.
Seemed like there was a lot this year.
There's a lot of Amy this year, too.
I only saw 3.
You know what? I saw
there's
at
a
least
picture of
24
Arthur.
Because there's a shot of Arthur standing with all of the Amy's at the con.
Wow. That must have been Saturday or something because we never saw them all at once.
Yeah.
I saw, even the doctors were varied. We saw, I didn't think we'd see too many 6 doctors, but there were some. You had your standard regimen of 4s, and the 10s obviously were always out in force. Matt Smith was out in force.
War Doctor.
There were a lot of War Doctor. We saw 3 or 4 really good War Doctors.
Yeah, they were really good.
Just phenomenal leather work, and they were all complaining about I'll never work with leather again. I hate But really, really good War Doctor costumes. We saw a couple of Capaldis, a couple of Hartnells. Still no Troughton, really. I don't remember any.
Sal
Troughton.
had a second doctor.
Sal had a second doctor
Yeah.
they'd put together. And then I
Second
only
and
remember
sixth.
1 or 2 Pertwees. Third doctor, but
Oh, well, yeah.
Interestingly enough, when we went last year, I saw at least half a dozen Jacks. There was only one picture I saw floating around, and of course, everybody was, all the women were tweeting and swooning all over.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess he was really charming it up.
I saw a lot of Fem Jacks, but
Yeah.
I only saw one male.
There were a lot
Jack.
more fin like last year and in the year, last year and even at Planet Comic-Con, obviously, but the Fem Doctors has been kind of a popular thing. Well, this was the first year that I saw a lot of Fem versions of outside
yeah.
of the Doctors. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
I
that was
agree.
cool. That was neat.
There was a whole squad this year of Happiness Patrol.
I did see one on the
I
pictures.
think I saw one.
There were
Pictures,
6
yeah.
or 7 of them.
Oh,
And
wow.
it was so funny because...
I think Mel. That was Mel. They all saw Mel last year, and they said, "Oh, I'm going to do that for Gala
brilliant.
next year."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah, we've seen this one lady, and she was marvelous. And I was like, okay, we got to go up and talk to her. And she said, well, there's actually like 6 or 7 of us out here. And I'm like, oh my God. Supposedly, and I'd like to be able to find it out there on Twitter feed or Facebook or somewhere, that they all got together and took their picture.
Oh, that'll be neat. That'll be neat.
So,
But yeah, and then I don't know. I don't know if you saw the picture yet. I never saw it. There were 2 Candymen.
Yeah, I saw one.
I saw one of them.
I saw
Yeah.
one.
which one
2
did
of
you
them.
see?
One of them was like a cardboard box Candyman.
Oh no,
Like
this was a
bad-
really, really
Yeah.
well done
Okay.
Candyman.
Well,
nice
I think it was
Candyman
the
that I
same
saw.
person because the first one, we didn't get to see the really good Candyman. We got to see the other one. And they were making fun or making the comment that it's Candyman 1.0. This is before his upgrade. So,
And then we were standing there, we're checking on a sticker or something, and the elevator doors part, and the Cybermen marched into the room. From
One from-
every era. There was a 10th Planet Cyberman, and I mean, this going forward, and it was like, whoa! I mean, it was so cool, and apparently they went and accosted David Banks shortly thereafter.
Sure, yeah,
You know?
certainly.
As you do.
There were several Verities. I
did
never
see,
I never saw
pictures
him,
of
but I saw a
Verity.
picture of him that somebody was
Sydney.
cosplaying as Sidney
Sydney,
Newman, and there was a him.
There was a Sydney and Verity picture that was floating around them together.
Well, that Verity, apparently, one of her props was a cigarette, and she went and gave it to the 10th Planet Cyberman, and there's a photo of him with a dangling out of
oh,
his
that's
mouth.
terrific from Adventures.
Yeah.
That's
It was just like,
terrific.
oh, that's so cool. But across the board, I think the cosplay this year was
Top notch.
Yeah, it was really, really good, and it seemed so varied as opposed to, like I said, last year when it was
Focused on
nothing
one
but
person.
Amy and
Right,
Roy.
right.
And of course River and Captain Jack. Those were the big 4.
Right.
This year was just so just across the board. Every era, every doctor, every companion, everything was well represented.
Oh, cool.
And,
That's good to see.
And just really, really awesome. A lot of TARDIS dresses as usual, but
Right.
Well,
Oh,
that's
the
becoming more and
twins.
more popular, I think.
the
Oh, the
twins,
twins, yeah.
they were, I'm not sure how old they are now. They were still young enough to have their mother,
they were chaperoned.
chaperoned
Yeah.
everywhere they went. They were a couple of twins that had the TARDIS dresses. They-
Corsets. Or not corset. What do you call this? Is that a corset?
Corset?
Corset.
corset, yeah.
What I'm looking for? Corset.
Yeah.
Where they cinch you up in
Yeah,
under
the corset,
the-
yeah.
They were just wearing the corset and had a TARDIS on it, please call box on. I saw lots of pictures of those girls.
Well, they wrote their first book at age 14 or something like that, and they wrote several books.
Well, they've been to San Diego Comic Con
Since then,
too.
yeah.
They were on a panel there.
Then we saw these, and we couldn't resist just because the photos
Oh
themselves
yeah,
were
yeah.
so good.
I think I saw those on your pictures of your.
Swag.
Yeah, well, it's not really
That's what he
swag when
called
you
it.
pay
That's
for it,
what-
but
that's
that's
what
what
I
you
called
called it.
Well, apparently some of it was swag.
Yeah, that's neat.
And then, at the end of the con, there was this whole grouping of photos that was on the table upstairs in the lobby that some guy directed us to because they were going to get thrown out.
Oh, get out of here!
And
They
we
just
went,
gave
"Are you
They were
kidding
in
me?"
the trash.
Oh my gosh!
So one of the guys, he's like, you might want to come over here, because we had been talking to him earlier. He goes, you need to come and look at
What the
these.
heck?
The only thing that we can come up with is that if they were imported and brought over from, England, and as many of these are Katie Manning photos,
A lot of, but majority of them are.
maybe it was cheaper to just print new ones than it would have been to ship them back
Maybe so.
overseas and import them back into the UK.
Maybe so. I'll be darned.
So we're like, yeah, free photos.
Very cool.
So, this is for you from Colin.
Yay!
I don't know why he signed across his forehead.
It works. Probably because that's the lightest area without doing it on his face, because that color of pen probably wouldn't have shown up anywhere else. Very cool.
I think that was it. I mean, we got a boatload of autographs, and that's our picture with him. Turned out. Oh, I got to tell the picture story. I screwed up.
Yeah. See,
Do you have the wrong shirt on?
I have the wrong
He
shirt on.
does.
Oh, jeez.
I made sure that we had our
That
autograph
was the right
pins.
shirt, huh?
We had my shirt packed, and he was like, "You got your shirt?" I'm like, "Yeah, I got my
You
shirt."
got your shirt. You got
I-
your shirt. You got your shirt.
I
It
was
was
like,
very
"Yes."
insistent.
I double checked in. Well, we go to take our pictures, and he puts on the same shirt I had on. I'm like, "Okay."
Did
he
you
goes-
notice at the time?
I figured you wanted to switch it up. I'm like, I know you,
You
didn't
totally
have
should
that
have
shirt
said something. Because I remember I looked at the photo on the wall before we left,
Yeah.
and I looked at her, and I went,
on. That's the shirt I
the
need to wear.
Who's. I got to wear the band shirt.
Right,
Okay.
right.
That was as far as my brain thinking went. And then we showed up, and we're in line, and I look
She's
at
the
her.
Who's.
She's
Yeah.
wearing the Who's shirt, and I look down, and I'm wearing the Who's shirt, and I went, oh, I brought the Dalek shirt. It's well, it's not even upstairs. It's across the, in the other hotel. Do you think you have time? No. I don't have time to run down there and change.
Well, Mel kept up the tradition.
So I'm in the wrong shirt. In my
You guys just
Colin
wanted
photo.
to match with Colin.
Yeah, well, I'm in the wrong shirt.
Well, the sad thing is, 6 is not even in that shirt either. So-
I know. Of all the shirts, I could have worn the Doctor's 11. I could have worn something that he was in, but no, I wore the Who's. But he was okay with it. He was just a.
He looks just genuinely happy to be there.
He
It's just
is.
really cool.
Yeah.
He is really bubbly. I mean, not as bubbly as Katie Manning, but yeah, she's like over the top bubbly. But he was really happy to be there.
Any questions from you guys?
Oh, you covered it pretty
You
extensively.
have one more note there. I think you should rub in.
Oh yeah. Yahtzee.
Yeah. Whatever. If I'd have gone, she'd have gave it to me.
So, when I was in Lawrence, I went to Hastings, as I do. They now make Doctor Who Jenga.
We saw something that's one of the things we seen.
Tumbling blocks or whatever.
Tumbling blocks. That's
yeah.
we seen that.
It's
Well, I'm
Doctor
like,
Who Jenga.
wow.
And it's not even like they're all TARDIS shaped. They're bricks with TARDIS design on it.
Oh,
Like, not even the brick is a full TARDIS.
that's silly.
Well, that would be hard to stack.
Yeah, that's true. You do have to have a uniform. You can't have them the shape of the TARDIS.
You could still somehow make it so it's full and just cut off the top.
we have one at work that's Space Invaders Jenga. It's actually called Jenga, but Space Invaders, and it's got prints and stuff on it. But there's a game within the game because apparently the way you remove the blocks
that's-
has something to do with the way you play Space Invaders.
They should have done something like that.
I
for
don't
you.
know.
Instead of just printing and the merchandising. I should be very happy by this, but it's just starting to get ridiculous. They have headlamps with a strap with Daleks all over it.
Any closing remarks about Galley?
Galley was awesome, and we did. We toyed with the idea of not going back. We thought maybe after 2 years we thought we'll take a year off and we'll try one of the other cons. But then it was, it's the 25th anniversary. We can't do that. It's going to be in the 50th. I can't do that one. And then they started announcing guests. I was like, yeah, totally, we got to go this one. We kind of did the same thing this year. We thought, okay, 3 is good. We'll do 3. But after being there all weekend, and Mel looked at me, she says, "I want to come back." She says, "I don't want to take I don't want to take a year off. I don't want to take any years off. I want to come back." She says, "They're not going to announce any guests until August. I don't care."
Yeah.
And Sean said that in his closing remarks. Is there
That's
any
too bad because
doubt?
we knew Colin when we were there last year.
that they'd announced that.
Well, and Joe by last.
Yeah, we knew Joe
time
Grant
last
too.
year.
Yeah, well.
But even Sean said, after 25 years, is there any doubt in your mind we're not going to put on a good show? And he's kind of like, you got me there,
Yeah.
So we already started making our cosplay plans, and
Oh, really?
yeah,
Yep.
yeah, we know what we're doing next year.
All right.
It's a joint thing. We might do 2. We might get really ambitious and do 2, but for sure 1.
You gonna test them out at Planet Comic Con?
No, they won't be
No,
ready.
we won't.
We'll get them together in
They won't be ready
4
by
weeks,
then.
3 weeks.
And nobody would know at Planet Comic Con.
So that'd be the real test.
I think you ought to dress as Happiness Patrol for Sylvester.
I'll tell you, if I could get it around in time, I'd do a Candyman costume and pose with Sylvester with it. I think that would be brilliant.
Well, remind me off mic. I want to talk to you about an idea that we had.
Well, I got one too. So
Okay. But yeah, once again, as always, if you get the opportunity to go to Galley,
It's a must.
go to Galley. It's just there's so much about the con that's right that I can't even tell you how much fun it is to be around 3,200 people that are all into the same thing as you are, and not even to worry about it. Just have fun. And even being at the Renaissance, which we're kind of ups and downs on, Mel's very much on the. I didn't like being away from the action.
No, I don't.
I carted my tripod around. I don't want to hear it from you. I didn't have the option of lugging it upstairs and throwing it in the room. I had it on me, strapped in the dealer's
Do
room
you know
with this
how
big
many
pole.
Hello Darlings I missed out on running into Paul in the hallways? Yes, Smel's not happy.
But you got one.
I got one. But you know how many more I would have got?
Tell him about the one.
Walking down the hall there, and Paul was leaving the dealer's room, or I don't know, going where, what, not, whatever. But it's Paul. You know who he is. So, he's walking by, and I'm like, "Hi, Paul." He goes, "Hello, darling." He just talks to everyone like that, but that was for me. That one was.
a special tone in his
Yes.
voice, just for Mel.
Yeah, well, you laugh about Rory taking Sarah away. I guarantee you.
Paul asked, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
There wouldn't even be a question. There'd just be a cloud of dust. And I'd be like, well, I know what happened there. 2 things to add to your galley packing plans that I kind of forgot about.
Good.
Ibuprofen.
Yeah, because you don't want to pay for it in that hotel.
You do not want to pay for it in the
Summer store.
hotel. And
Oh my
I never
gosh.
thought about that, but Friday afternoon, was it? We did a little headache after everything
It's
going
just
on.
jet lag, but yeah.
Probably. And had that. And then, what was the other thing? We talked about all up and down. I was like, I can't believe we never suggested blah, blah, blah for this.
Made a big impact, I think.
It's
Blah,
made
blah,
a
blah.
huge...
It wasn't deodorant.
No, we covered that.
You got the deodorant.
We got the deodorant. I don't remember now what it was. I'll think of it and I'll let you guys know. But yeah, so if you get the opportunity to go to Galley, go to Galley.
Cool. All right. Well, anything else, Keith?
No, I'm good.
All right. Well, if that's going to do it for this week.
You guys bored?
Oh, should we talk about the schedule first?
Oh, yeah, what's coming up on the schedule?
You can just do next week since we haven't had a lot.
Moonbase!
Yeah. That's going to do it for this week.
Oh, no, wait, there's more.
Oh, there is more.
And the ebook.
Oh, the ebook.
You got to read the ebook.
Yes,
Because,
yes.
I don't remember the name of it.
Nameless City.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's
that
it.
one.
And it is a second Doctor story. So we're going to
How
do
fitting.
2 second Doctor stories.
So, Trouton! And I'll bring the minifig. Or the vinyl.
Of course, next week it'll be March, but we're just a little
It's
bit
your
behind,
fault.
but, yeah.
I had it all planned.
No, it's not my fault.
It's totally your fault.
Galley threw a
Galley's fault.
It's Galley's fault. Galley, darn you, Galley.
If you guys didn't do your holiday after and did it before,
I'd have been
Your
tired.
What else? Anything else? you
No,
got?
that was it.
Okay,
But this,
let's-
so Moonbase is for
Moonbase.
Friday Night Who, and then read
Nameless
the ebook,
City.
Nameless City.
All
We'll be
right.
covering both of those next week in the podcast.
Cool. All right.
Or Cyberman.
Now, if that's going to do it for this week, until next week, I'm Glenn.
I'm Sean.
I'm Keith.
And Mel.
She forgot who she was. Cheers.
Good night, everybody.
Be seeing you.
Bye, guys.
You should get off Doctor Who Legacy and pay attention when we're signing off.
No. You know how many people I've ranked up? No.
You have been listening to Traveling the Vortex. Doctor Who and all of its associated programs are owned and trademarked by the BBC. No infringement is intended or implied.